Yeah, we actually start the recording before the recap for once. Isn't that
wow.
fun?
Wow,
Wow. Oh God.
that's a good start.
That's amazing. We should probably be less sarcastically
I
impressed.
feel patronised.
The gods will
Only
be with
slightly.
us today.
Okay then, so let's jump in and do a little bit of a recap. So, last week, an intrepid group of adventurers, Ignium Cete, managed to find their way to the Sevros Isles. On the way there, they were caught up in a horrible, horrible storm that seemed to churn the waves and darken the sky. The ship that they were sailing on, the High Wind, was caught within the rapids, caught within the drift, and rammed into the shore of one of the larger islands there, greatly damaging the shore and injuring yourselves and many of the crew. And unfortunately, one of the sailors, one of the crewmen, lost their lives in the impact. Not long after you reorientated yourself and tried to get a lay of the land, a horn was sounded in the distance, and half a dozen fish-like entities charged down the beach towards you, hoping to find some very lost and very nearly dead sailors, unfortunately finding a very angry group of adventurers. Combat ensued, and you defeated the Sahagan creatures, these half-man, half-fish beings, with one of them escaping deep into the waves. Scouting around the area a little bit, you managed to find the wreckage, the less wrecked wreckage of another ship about a mile down the beach to the west. And you evacuated the surviving sailors, pulled out what supplies you could, and made your way down to the other ship. The sailors, taking a brief respite, set up some camp, and began looking at ways to repair the ship that you have found. Following that, you assumed the Windwalk form via Feathergale and did a scout of the island, and you got a little bit better of a layout of what it looks like. It looks a little bit more like this. So let's read a picture. So, to give you an idea, what you've got in the centre here, this is kind of what appears to be the Sahagan colony area. The little blue circles are just spatterings of rock pools, and you also have these huts dotted around, some of which, mainly these group at the back here, containing cages with slaves and prisoners in them. You have the original wreckage of the High Wind here, and then a bit further down you also have the wreckage of this unknown other ship. During your trek through the forest, you also found several smatterings of small ruins based deep within the jungles and the jungles of the island, which you identified may have once belonged to a colony of lizard people of some kind, which have long since crumbled into dust. Nira also managed to find what appears to be a cliff-face path leading to a sacred shrine and ritual area. This little line here is what you can see is a rough trajectory of the path that leads away from the rocky pools of the Sahagan colony, leading round the cliff face to an open area on the cliff with it marked in this circle, where a large altar of a pair of crashing waves sat, where human sacrifices were being sacrificed by some kind of some entities down there. Didn't get a huge amount of a look. So, what we'll say, for the purposes of this, because it's a little bit chaotic at the back end of last session, we'll say that using the Windwalk spell to do all of your scouting, you finally return to the new ship, the one that you found, just down here on the bottom left. After doing various scouting split up, after about the entire process of looking around, demisting, remisting has taken you about 4 hours. The Windwalk spell has a duration of 8 hours, so you have roughly 4 hours of the Windwalk spell remaining. Especially since I will say, just to remind as well, the high winds and the heavy weather makes travelling with the Windwalk spell a bit more difficult, but still easier than trekking on your own. I will say also the map is roughly to scale, with the rulers and such. It's not exactly perfect, but it's near enough to give what you need. So, for example, you've only got a couple of 100 feet between the woodlands and the huts. This area seems to span about a mile or so, whereas the shrine is a decent distance away from the actual colony and the rock pools. It's kind of situated. Imagine this dark area is both rocky terrain, but also cliff face as well, as it butts up against the ocean, and it's kind of like on this outcropping that sticks out a little bit. Gives you a rough idea. There is other maps that I'll probably show you later, which will give you a better idea of it. So, Ignium Cete, you return to the scene of the secondary ship, where Captain Morgus and his remaining injured crewmates, well, you did heal them up quite well actually, so his remaining crewmates are trying to patch up, take apart crates and barrels, and are starting to patch up some of the wreckages and holes and gashes on this other ship. So, Ignium Cete, what would you like to do? And if you want me to go through any of the details of the map or what you explored, do so.
Do we? That's the only settlement we see on the island.
That's the only settlement that you saw on the island. It's not a huge island,
Okay.
and it's not a huge settlement. You did see creatures in the jungle, but they weren't easy to get hold of. And I will say as well, dotted all around the outside of this island, I've listed 2 boats on there. But dotted around the island, there are wreckages of various boats and crafts just all around the outskirts. Most of them quite dilapidated and broken, waterlogged, damaged. But you can definitely see that over time, over years and years and years, there have been dozens of ships that have been stranded up here. But I've only put the 2 on there because they're the 2 important ones. So, the floor is yours.
Are we in a form where we can talk to each other?
So you've all landed by the wreckage of this boat, and you're all in regular form, not human form, regular form.
Regular form, yeah. Do we have any idea about how many of the fishmen there were?
Yes. So doing a quick scout of there doesn't appear to be a huge amount. 100, 200?
Oh, okay. So
still quite a few, but I mean, in terms of the actual population of the island, it's not a lot.
We can kill 200 people.
You'd guess somewhere between 100 and 200. It's hard to tell because what you did notice while doing the scavenging is these large rock pools. They're constantly going in and out. So some of them are patrolling around, some of them are dealing with other bits and bobs, but a lot of them are jumping in and out of these pools regularly. So it's a bit hard to gauge the numbers.
Could we see how deep those pools were?
You could not, because it was kind of like a flyby. Your windwalk form is useful for scouting. However, if this large cloud started hovering in front of these guys for like several minutes while spinning around, they'd probably get a bit suspicious. So this is kind of like a flyby experience that you got.
I just don't know whether it looked like it was like a light blue because it's shallow or a deep blue because it's deep.
It's hard to tell, especially in the darkness here, because do remember there's a very thick storm cloud circling the entire island for miles to come, and it's making it extremely dark.
That's okay, because the one thing I want to say then is, like, we don't even know if they're pools. They could be like tunnels that lead. There could be so many more of them under the island.
There could be. You're not
Yes.
sure.
In the island, under the island, in the ocean, next to the island.
That's what I was saying. Just because what we see on land doesn't mean that they're like all live on land. They could all live underneath, and these are just like the weirdos.
True.
Yep.
Nonetheless, with these sacrifices they're performing, I think we have to act rather sooner than later in freeing these people.
I want to know what that altar is.
Like, but the thing is, what do we do first to make everything else
I think
not fall apart?
What we need first is information. So we need to talk to one of these captives.
Scathe pipes up and says his thing about camping into camping. going into the camp, something
Yeah.
that he wrote
And he
down.
mentions all the ways he could go in and sneak and not be seen.
Yeah, we could also. Do we have a potion of water breathing? Or we could investigate if he sneaks in, he can investigate the possible portals or the pools.
I would not want to let him go in alone, but
No.
we need to do that eventually. Maybe the people know.
I would say talk to the people first, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, could
Could
the rest
also-
of us have a look, see inside? Can we get back into the misty form again?
You can you have 4 hours to return into Wind Walk. You cannot enter water with Wind Walk.
No,
So there was an active sacrifice in progress.
So
That's what I thought. If Skate is going to talk to the prisoners, a couple of us could just have a quick look at the forest, and a couple of us could go look at the altar again, and then we come back here in like under the time where we then turn into people,
Mm-hmm.
and then share all our information, and then decide what we hit first.
So was there a sacrifice in progress?
So as Nira did a flyby of the altar, there was a sacrifice in progress.
Yeah.
Okay, why exactly did we not stop that?
Because I was alone and didn't exactly have any backup.
There was
Didn't try to
Nira
mention
solo
this? No.
and there was at least a dozen of these fish people around the altar.
You can't blame her
Okay.
for it. Like,
No,
and we don't know
just...
if we.
And he was already dead by the time I got there. They were literally
Alright.
sacrificing him as I stumbled upon the thing. Nothing I could have done.
No, that's fine. Sorry, I'm just feeling bad about it.
If we hit it wrong, then we might not get what we came for, but we could also cause the deaths of all of the other people. So
Yeah,
we need
that's why
to
we
know
talked
what
to
we're
them.
doing. Yeah, but we need to, like, even if there was a couple of there, you can't blame her for not being
No,
able to.
no. That's fine. I'm just frustrated with people dying while we're around.
It's not an acceptable loss, but sometimes they're losses you have to
Yes.
go with. So, should we go back and do the things?
Yeah, well, all our formulating of plans won't help until we get more information from the captives. So I guess we will start with that. Go close to the village. Since
Do
Skate
we
is
all-
having, I think he has to. Skate has to maintain the wind walk, right? It's concentration.
I believe so, yes.
So don't get hit.
Oh, that'd be fun. I'm just checking to see if it is concentration. It may not be for 8 hours. It is
seems a
not.
bit long.
Very good.
So its casting time is 1
Um,
minute, range of 30 feet. Just lasts for 8 hours. You can take damage in wind wall form. People can still attack you, but it's not concentration.
I can make us look
I
like
think-
fish people, by the way.
I think
Fish
if
people.
any of us are... Because you have to concentrate to change between forms. So if
You
you're
have to
concentrating
kind
on
of
a spell-
focus for a minute to swap between the two.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind.
So we'll hunker down close by, send Skates to scout,
I
and
was
then
thinking,
go from there.
I
so
will-
why don't we do some investigation at the same time? So if some of us go back and look at the altar, see if they've left, what it looks like, what it's doing, and then some of us go into the forest and kind of have a quick recce. Now we know what's there and what we're looking for. If we can do that in 3 hours.
Well, I don't want Skate to die while we're away.
No, but I mean, someone could go with him. But if we all just hang around and wait with him, we're not going to be able to do anything when he goes off in it there anyway.
I don't think he'll take 3 hours to talk to a few people. It'll be like 20 minutes.
Well, like when I say 3 hours, I mean like that's the longest, but it could be like 40 minutes. But I just thought that maximizing our time by just trying to do the three things at once, but in like teams.
Well, I wouldn't split the party.
Are you sure?
But I also
You
won't
already
stop
have.
you.
Yeah, we have to, and I want to do this. Make sure this is fast, and we know as much as we can.
Well, when we're all clouds, that's fine, but Skaith won't be.
Or maybe you could follow behind him as a cloud, or Zin
Sure, and my
could.
noodly arms will defend him from
Okay,
death.
Zin could follow behind him as a cloud. Zin's like a one-man wrecking ball thing.
All I'm saying is, if 100 fish people are come running, we need everyone.
That'd be
Yes,
interesting.
because
See if
then we
you
need to
give you waves
get
and see if you can
out.
take out 100 before you die.
Yeah, he can make himself look like a fish person again. I'm not trying to. Okay, I'm just trying to. Practice. You know what's the word? Practical and
Planning, yes.
multitasking.
Mm.
Effective
Well,
multitasking.
you'll be tasked with waiting while.
I don't want to wait. I want to go look at the altar, but I don't want to make it looking at the altar.
In case. Well, I mean, what if there's another sacrifice and it's not everyone? Then we'll have to just sit
But
there
then we
and take
turn
it again.
around again.
And then they'll be dead.
Yes,
just
but they'd be dead anyway
thing
if we
after-
were waiting and not looking at it. Just because you're not paying attention doesn't mean it's not happening. The
Well,
world
in that
exists
case-
beyond your range of vision, Vanos.
In that case, you can also stay and make sure Skaith is in your vision and doesn't die.
I don't want to know what they're doing so I can stop it later.
I'm just saying, I think it's a bad idea to split the party, especially in a place like this.
We just split ourselves around. Nima was just by herself.
I think I agree with Ranos. I think it's best if we stick together. So if shit goes down, then we can just plane shift out of here, and hopefully just take like a couple of.
Just really slowly transport all of the fish people into the plane of the air, pop back, grab a few more, pop out again, and just eventually have these this rolling vortex of fish.
That's my goal.
Would work
Okay, so
until you die.
Look, I just want get my shield, kill a priestess, and my shield, and rescue these people. Those are the three things. And I just want to do it in the most effective order, and then leave with us having done all of those things.
Cool, let's go then.
let's go. Okay, so you now have the party cake to identify where you are on the map. So, there is your party cake. Where would you like the party cake to go? All of you can move the party cake, so feel free to all move the party cake at the same time. Where was the party cake going? That's a ruler. Okay, you all drown.
Swimming. Let's see. So should we? Should we just stay in the
You with this,
behind
Tom?
the tree line?
If we're in the forest, we could at least look at the forest and try and see what's kind of paths and things are happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So we could at least do two things at once.
So,
And
where's
we
the party
send
cake?
Skaith
Our
in.
eyes open around us.
Here's
There,
Sounds good.
and we send Skaith in to investigate.
Okie doke.
Right?
So, as you guys return into your windwalk form
Disguising first?
and fly over, landing on the outskirts of the jungle area, about half a mile-ish away from the huts and cages where a lot of the prisoners seem to be being kept. You revert back into your humanoid, let's go with that, humanoid forms, and land in the dense, thick, humid, hot jungle. What do you want to do? If you feel free to just use Skaith as like an NPC, he's like, Skaith, go and do this, and he'll just robotically go and do it. He's
Hey, Skaith.
hello.
I'm going to make you invisible. Please talk to the prisoners and ask smart questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Skaith, you cast invisibility on Skaith, and he goes and does stealthy things. 21 and 21. Where's Skaith?
Selfie things.
He goes and takes a selfie.
Stealthy, not selfie. Okay.
There we go. So you guys stay in the forest, and Skaith
Before
goes...
you turn invisible, you only get uninvisibled if a spell happens. You do a spell, not if a spell happens to you.
If you attack.
Depending what the spell
Any
is.
aggressive
but
action.
If you get dispelled, then yes, you'll lose it. But
I just wanted to put like some guidance on him in case he needs to make some checks on the way.
guidance only lasts a minute.
Wait. I've got my thingy though. I think it lasts until. Is it hot?
Do you mean bless?
No, I'm thinking about the evolving cantrips.
Oh. Normal guidance lasts for a minute. But it's going to take him a little bit of time to get there. He's, Okay, so Skaith, you cast invisibility on
At
Skaith.
11th level, the target rolls the cantrip doesn't end until the target either rolls a number higher than 1 or the duration ends. Okay, so basically they can do it as many times as they want for that minute. Okay, cool.
There we go. So Skaith, with his natural stealthiness, sorry for the recording, lots of zooming in and zooming out, starts to trundle all the way down towards towards the prisoners' cages.
Is he now an invisible cloud?
He probably would. It will go in normal form, I think, rather than cloud form. Because
Flying is stealthier.
he's pretty stealthy. He's confident. He's confident in his own abilities.
It's true.
So, Skaith, he's already out of view, and he starts to make his way down towards the prison cages. As he gets there, Skaith can see about 3 groups of huts, kind of spread out a little bit, but all within about 100-120 feet. And each hut has about 6 or 7 prisoners. So there's about 20 or so prisoners in total spread around these cages. Looking around, there are a few of the Sahagin guards patrolling around, but they kind of do a wide berth around the cages, kind of passing near them every now and again. But they don't necessarily seem to be standing on guard by these cages. I don't think they expect. You don't think they expect people to either try and break out of these or people to try and rescue them. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
You're with us. So Skaith manages to time his advance, and dodges around one of the nearby patrols and manages to get up to one of these cages. There's about 3. There's a total of 3 cages, 2 and 3, we'll say, in terms of people. Looking at them, they all appear to be sailors of some kind. They're kind of wearing sailors' attire. Some of them got like a bandana on. Some of them are still wearing the remains of like belts where weapons would be hung. And there's also in this particular cage there is one gentleman who's wearing a very ragged and decrepit tri-corner hat. Got a big bushy beard. He's got a lazy eye that kind of points off into a completely opposite direction. But he looks a little bit like Captain Hook. If you've ever seen the film Hook, he looks a little bit like that. And as Skaith approaches, this individual almost seems to take note. Like the one working eye starts looking around. Trying to see what's going on. For the purposes of this, for a one time only, your badge works as you will work as a walkie-talkie for external speaking. So Skaith just holds up the walkie-talkie. You can now speak to the prisoner, one of you can. Whoever that wants to be. Don't all rush.
Hello, Mr. Prisoner Man. Don't be alarmed. We are invisible adventurers here to rescue you.
The individual looks around, kind of sniffs the air. You hearing that? Oh, oi, Captain. Oi.
Shh.
Sorry. Go on.
We were stranded on this island just like you, but we managed to fend off the fishmen. And we saw your predicament in the cages, and we were trying to figure out this place and a way to get you out of your misery. We saw that probably one of your comrades, I'm sorry to say, was being taken to an altar and killed.
Aye, that'll be Keith. They took him a few hours ago. Poor Keith. You were a good navigator. You gonna get us the fuck out of here then?
Yeah, what are these creatures? Why are they sacrificing things? We just want to... Sorry, that was my cat. Sorry, Captain.
I ain't got a fucking clue. We've been here for weeks. They keep muttering to themselves, speaking their own fish language. Don't rightly understand it myself. Looks like, from what I've been able to ascertain, they appear to be doing regular sacrifices to some kind of god on their altar. Think it keeps power in the storms.
Oh.
Brings more people to them.
What about these pools they seem to be diving into?
I think it's where they live.
Is there a cave network or something?
I haven't got close enough to find out, but I wouldn't be surprised. You'll see one jump into one pool and pop out of another.
Oh, that's good to know. How regular are these sacrifices?
Depends what the storm's like. If the storm's waning, maybe one a day. Maybe more, maybe less. I had a crew of 40 lads with me once. We're down to 20.
Ouch. Okay.
You got a name, lad?
So who is this then?
Sorry?
Speaking. Is still Scathe talking?
We'll say it's talking to you. As far as the guy knows, he's speaking directly to you. Who are
Okay. The name's Ranos.
Ranos. They call me Captain Bluebeard. Doesn't have a blue beard. He's black. Actually, you don't know that.
There's a cat howling. I think that's bad luck for ships, right?
We did have.
No, wait, it's the other way. It's women, and cats are good. Right?
I'm Captain Bluebeard. And, captain of the Scale Bean. Or I was, anyway. You getting us the fuck out of here, then?
Yeah. Are you able-bodied, able to fight, able to run?
I've seen a few scraps. Me and the lads give it a fair bit of encouragement. We can get the fuck out of here.
Our saying ships, you've been in there 20 days.
They feed us, they water us. They don't want us dead. You can't sacrifice the dead.
Yeah, makes sense. Where
I'm
were you
sick
stranded?
of fish. Ugh.
Where were you taken from?
Our ship's not far from here, a couple of miles down the coast. We sustained minor damage when we ran aground, but nothing. I don't think me and the lads can get back up and running. If you give us a bit of time.
I think we might have found your ship then.
Mighty vessel, fine.
Serviceable at this point.
Had quite a nasty gash down one side.
Yep. Alright, we'll see about getting you armed.
How many of you are there? 20, 30?
Yeah.
We might just have a chance against these fish fuckers then.
Yeah, we might. We'll get you. We try to supply you with weapons and be ready soon. The cages, how easy are they to break?
They're old. They're rusted. They're pretty thick iron, but they don't seem to be complicated locks. A swift smash with an hammer will take them out.
That's good to know.
We would break them. We'd probably break them ourselves, given enough time. But there's fuck all for us to go to.
What about the shield?
We heard stories about a priestess and possibly some form of shield they're protecting.
I don't know fuck all about no shields, but I
Okay.
have seen these robed ones up heading towards the east. I think there's something around the corner. That's where the lads go.
Probably alter them.
Maybe. All I can say is the lads go that way and they don't come back.
Yep. Do they sleep at night? Are patrols less frequent?
Not really.
That
I
would
don't
be
I
really-
think we'll
easy.
still.
We can't really see night with these fucking clouds.
Is your cat? Whose cat is dying?
I think that's his son.
Yeah, that's Ethan crowing. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was the whiny cat.
Yeah.
But no, we don't really. It's hard to keep track of days. He kind of motions up towards the sky.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably break you out during night, so we have to cover.
Good to know. I'll get word to the lads. They took Keith not long ago, so with any luck, we might be okay for another day. But
Alright, we'll
any more
probably
than
come
that,
back.
and we might be a bit fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good luck.
You too. Stay strong.
Always.
Beep beep beep.
The Skaith Moon
Yeah.
walks out of there and rejoins the party cake.
I quite like that guy.
Is this the altar over here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Found it.
just for a really, really quick overview for you, Tom, you've got obviously beach,
Altar,
rock
power ship.
pools. Oh, yep. And then this line is like a cliffside path that leads around to the altar area.
Okay. And which
Um,
ruin is the one that we've sort of found?
As you explored the island, you found these small smatterings of ruins, which appeared to be of some kind of lizard-folk civilization at one point.
Okay.
But
Alright,
completely abandoned.
We should check out. I relay all the information, or Skate does.
Assuming we could hear it through the badges, right?
Let's say it's a walkie-talkie
Yeah.
setup, so yeah, let's go with that.
Sure. Okay. You all know what's going on. We should probably
Is the map
pool
scale?
our resources, see
Roughly
how
the
many
scale,
weapons we got. We have to arm like 20 people. So look through all your bags and find all the weapons you got.
I think I have a dagger on me. Maybe.
Skaith hands out a feather gale.
No.
No, he doesn't.
Captain Bluebeard will like this one. Thank
Oh
you.
wait, I still have a bunch of stuff. I have
Bandits.
a war pick somewhere still. It's still on my list. I don't know if it away. War pick. I have a couple of some daggers, a scimitar. I have a lot of stuff.
I have a magic whip.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I
I
have
forgot about that.
I've got 2 daggers and a wooden stake.
three. How many scimitars do I have?
I have 2 daggers.
I have a scimitar as well.
You all got scimitars from the dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I have two scimitars, 2 daggers, and a war pick. So I'm
I've,
just hanging
I have
around.
3 weapons and a regular hammer. So I'll say 4 weapons.
And I've got a wooden stake, which you could just stab in like eyeballs and things,
Mm-hmm.
like a dagger.
Mhm. Yeah. Worst case. What's in the bag of clothing?
I don't think we put weapons in there.
Nope.
Oh, I have the Maelstrom Greatsword.
Right.
Still?
Maelstrom,
That's
you still have the Maelstrom greatsword. Did
got
did
a-
you?
One.
I would say,
I
didn't you give that to
think-
Commander Thaldron?
I think we took it back. If
Maybe,
we gave
think
it
maybe
to
taking it back.
Yeah.
I think we put it back again.
we're adventurous, of course we take us.
I've got a dagger.
So yeah, I got 4 weapons.
Sword. I
Fucking
got
hell.
3.
Do you want to, as a suggestion, do you want to put
And
a
I have
list
like loads of
your,
spikes.
if you want to put your weapons
like,
list in the
climbing
chat,
spikes?
it might make it easier for you to confirm what you've got.
Just count what you have on the sheet.
Here is chat. This
The
one.
one everyone else is typing in.
Okay.
I'm just trying to organise you guys. A wooden stick.
Okay.
With a sickle. Nice.
Yeah.
How else would you treat the wounded?
You got got to heat it to cauterize things.
So 11.
Fucking hell. So you just have 14 random weapons.
Right, lots of metal
Let's check
spikes.
To be
Skaith's
fair,
shit.
I've had those daggers since the beginning of the campaign, and I've had the wooden stake since we killed.
Yes.
What's it
I've got
called?
loads of
Scathe
metal
probably
spikes
has,
in adventuring gear.
Skaith
100
has
daggers.
he's got a spliff in his inventory, but he's got 2 throwing daggers, a longbow, and a +1 short sword. So he's got 2 daggers,
I've got
2
a
daggers,
pickaxe.
a bow.
He
and
has so many belts. He needs to have daggers for the belts.
I also have armor. I have way so much stuff. Okay, I am quite
Okay,
happy to leave this be the moment I get rid of some stuff
Yeah.
out of my bags.
All right, then
Bring
let's
me
fly
in.
over to the altar and see what's going on there, and then fly back
Yeah.
to the ship.
Yeah. I want to look at
Tell the others, maybe scour some ships for more weapons, and then come back nightfall. Well, during the night, and spring these cool saps. And we could tell our crew that they should fortify and maybe expect fish people to show up.
You actually have 20 weapons.
Yes.
Yes, we can arm everybody.
Not even including the metal spikes and wooden stakes. You have roughly 20 weapons. In your current setup, you have enough stuff to arm a small platoon.
Yes.
You guys are hoarders, fuckers.
Hey, it came in handy.
One of those is a hammer, and I think a hammer is just a regular carpenter's hammer.
I mean, it's better than a back of a hand.
He could
True.
flip it around and use the claw end.
Yeah.
True.
That'd be really dangerous.
Oh, and Zin has 5 additional daggers as well. So you guys have got enough weapons between you.
Okay. Let's check out the altar.
So you probably at this point, I'll say you've got. I will keeping in mind that the heavy wind makes the wind walk spell slightly slower. You have probably about 2 to 3 hours left on your wind walk spell.
Question: while we were waiting for Skaith/Vanos to talk to prisoner guy, could I also do some checks on just the woodland and just kind of look and see what kind of terrain it is, if there are any kind of paths?
Any more
It's
things
nearby.
showing up?
Make
Animals showing
me a perception check.
Anyone want to help me?
I will.
Please, thank
Perception
you.
check with advantage.
Because I was looking out for like animals and shit sneaking up on us.
23. You have a look around. There do not appear to be any pathways into the jungle. From what you can see of kind of keeping an eye on the fish folk and the like, they seem to avoid the jungle quite heavily. There are no pathways. The floor is a mess of mud and vines and small plant life. Kind of making it, it's very difficult terrain. If you were to walk through on foot, it'd be quite difficult. There's a buzz of bugs in the air, and at this point, you have not spotted any creatures. You're quite on quite on the tree line, not very far away from the encampment is where I kind of thought had you guys in my head. So you're kind of not far away from. You're not very deep into the jungle. Probably a bit more like there or something. All right.
Yeah, are there any kinds of just like because we knew that there were ruins? Are there any kind of like scatterings?
Any what? Sorry.
Like scatterings, like any kind of from those ruins, any like kind of rocks sort of thing.
Not in the immediate area.
Okay, we just want to know if there's any kind of like leftover bits. I live in Dartmoor. Like, there's one ruin. There's paths, stuff everywhere.
A lot of the ruins appear to be deeper into the jungle.
Okay.
Maybe we
can't-
should at some point find out what lives in these woods that
That's
they are
right.
trying to avoid.
If anything.
Should we do that before or after we go to the altar?
Go to the altar now.
I will say
I
you
wanna
cannot
figure out what
recast
the
Windwalk.
thing
It's
is.
only a one thing.
I want to figure out what that is.
Okay, let's go to the altar while we have time. We can be in the forest in humanoid form.
Okay, so you flying up and over the village, kind of battling through those heavy winds and that thick rain. You slowly make your way around the cliffside to the altar area that Nira had identified before. Now that you look at it, what you can see is that the path kind of runs around the cliffside, and every now and again there seems to be markers or torches that seem to flicker with a dull flame, kind of billowing in the. They kind of ripple and billow in the wind and the rain, but don't quite go out. And it's about a mile and a half path that runs from the village itself round to the altar. And what you can see is, as you pass around one of the bends, it kind of flattens out into a bit of a plateau area, about a 50-foot diameter plateau with another path that curves around up to the highest peak of the cliff face. Or the highest flat bit of the cliff face, and on that there is a smaller plateau which has then got the altar on it. If you give me 2 minutes, I can give you a rough idea of what you're looking at. There are the odd in that small plateau area you do see some. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'll let you see the creatures because that makes sense, because there are creatures there. So, if I put you guys onto this map, all the way over here, gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're looking at. So you've got the pathway that kind of comes around this way. You've got this plateau area here, a bit larger than I stated, but then you've got this pathway that runs around, kind of curves back on itself, and then you've got the altar just at the top here. Dotted around, you can see several of those lither-looking Sahagin creatures that seem to be kind of loitering around at the bottom, as well as some of the bulkier, buffer, armoured individuals also hanging around. At the top, near the altar as well, you can also see some. This is not indicative of exactly the right numbers; it's just a smattering to give you an idea. But you can also see some robed individuals standing before this large altar. Again, this altar. It stands quite large. It's quite big. It's about 9 foot across. Probably stands about 12 feet tall, and it's in the symbol of these two crashing waves that hit into each other and then rebound away. You guys are kind of about. We'll say about 100 feet away at the moment, kind of keeping a distance. But you get a general top-down overview. If you want to go in and get closer to inspect, you can do. But that's up to you. Do note you are not invisible, you are clouds, but you are discernible creatures.
These pools here, are they puddles from the rain? Or
from where you are, you can't tell. You'd have to go in and inspect them.
Okay.
Can I check? What kind of clouds are in the sky already?
Dark ones.
Yeah, but like Cirrus, cumulonimbus.
Thick.
Because we might just clump and pretend we're a cumulonimbus cloud.
You're a white cloud. The clouds above are very dark, unfortunately.
That's racist.
I don't see colour, just the gradients.
Shades of grey.
That's it.
50.
What I'm saying is, if you start swimming around and go look right at close to the altar, probably has a good chance of noticing that you're there. If you may be a cloud, you're still like a person-shaped cloud. And especially
what are the fish people doing?
At the moment, you can see the. Make a perception check for me, actually. And how long would you like to observe them?
Go in circles, see what they're doing. I mean, the sacrifice is done, so why are they still hanging around?
Okay, you have a look. You spend a
Go
little
to a
bit
holding
of time,
pattern.
kind of observing the creatures, and it looks like you've got these robed individuals near the altar who appear to be, you think, might be in prayer, but you're not sure. The rest of them appear to be kind of mulling around there, jumping in and out of these pools on occasion, and seem to be kind of almost keeping a lookout.
So they are connected. That's good to know.
So one thing I will say you notice they jump into like this top pool, and then a few minutes later they pop out of another pool. So these three at least are connected.
Mhm.
That you know of.
All right. Okay. Are there any other structures here besides the altar?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
What you've noticed is the structures even on the in the area. They aren't very. There aren't many of them, and they appear to not use them very much themselves. They appear to be like minor shelters for supplies and the like, but they have no issue with the rain.
Okay. There's nothing else happening?
It seems pretty quiet, and apart from the harsh weather and praying.
I think we can take them.
But we can't talk right now.
You can't talk right now, so you can see this. You spend about 20 minutes kind of observing the area. What else? Is there anything else you want to do, or do you want to head back to the ship?
If we were doing like a very lazy, totally just a normal cloud path, would it be able to see what kind of altar is it? Is there any signs of who it's an altar to?
There's the big symbol of the crashing waves.
Yeah, but is there anything more?
You have to go and have a look.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. If we're doing a lazy, I'm totally a cloud.
How many times have you walked down the street and seen a cloud in front of you?
Look, I'm totally a high cloud.
If you want to go, I mean.
Also, I come from the west country.
Fisherman
Quite
Bay?
often, you can go into Dartmoor and suddenly mist.
That's not a
By the sea.
Dartmoor. It's not a tropical island.
By the sea, when it's storming, suddenly mist.
Anyway.
Can I make a religion check or anything?
That's
You
what I'm
certainly
trying to
can,
do
Jake.
on the thing.
Okay,
I will help you.
I've told you what you can see. If you want to go down and have a look at it, you can do. But feel free to make me a religion check. Giovanni, with advantage. Well, no, not advantage because you're in a cloud form.
Yeah, sure.
So just a normal religion check.
Religion, there.
10. Okay. Being from Baldur's Gate, this is a symbol that you're quite familiar with, actually. It is the iconography that you can see, the crashing waves, is well known to be the icon, like one of the icons of Umberlee, the bitch queen of the sea, goddess of storms, of sailing, known to be more of an evil goddess. However, a lot of sailors will still pray to her for good voyages and good travels and good hauls of fisheries and the like. But she is a powerful sea goddess.
Right. I don't think. Yeah, I also think we can take them, but we need to go somewhere we can talk.
I will say, when you're doing your return to human form, about a good chunk of the way through your transportation, you start to take a kind of a humanoid form. So if you were to like coalesce there, they'd probably get a couple of rounds slapping at you. Just want to throw that out there for you. It's not a case of cloud, person. You kind of rematerialize over that minute. Just so you know. So,
You'd have to hide somewhere.
you'd have to hide somewhere, go down the path, etc., etc. Just
Have we
saying.
seen,
Go on.
in this 20 minutes, have we seen anyone else coming up or, coming and going that path? Or does it just seem to be this group?
Seems pretty static.
Okay. There's nobody else coming back up. We could go down the path a little bit, then come back up and try something, but...
What is up here?
Additional cliff, like, bit is like rough cliff face.
I'm thinking, could we position ourselves on top of that?
Probably
And
not.
then-
It's quite a sheer rocky cliff face that kind of goes up by a good chunk of the way. Sorry, I know I
Okay.
said this was the highest point of the cliff. It's not. The cliff continues to go up. But this is the highest flat point.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll fly up the cliff and find somewhere flat to land. Far enough away where I think they couldn't hear us, but not
up the cliff
super
or round
far
the
away.
path.
Up the cliff. I mean, I see no point in sitting on a path where they could see us.
That's why we go... It curves. So we go back around the curve.
Yeah, I'm still going up. where no
Okay.
one can see us.
You head up, and you travel up about 120, 130 feet maybe, before you kind of reach the peak of this cliff face. The kind of there's no flat area. It's kind of like almost a jagged mountain peak to it. But there are places you could stand, but it's not by no means flat or steady footing. And it is also very slick from heavy, constant rainfall. But you managed to land, so if you take a minute to revert, the rest of you following?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you all go wind walk up. I'd like you all to make me acrobatics checks, please.
Mm.
Thank you. This is where I fall to my death. Because you wanted to go up the mountain instead of landing on the path.
Okay, so Ranos, you land okay. Giovanni and Nira, let's roll for Skaith as well. What did I say? Acrobatics check. He's fine. So, Giovanni and Nira, you kind of hovering just above the ground. You revert back to your humanoid form, and as you do, you land upon the rocks. But it is very slick and very slippery, and you slide, and you slowly begin to fall. Is you kind of you fall forwards. The wind wall spell is still kicked in though, so you kind of slow fall, but you are dropping down towards you are sliding down the cliff face. Both of you are.
Okay, I might have misunderstood the situation.
Like I said, you kind of landed on a peak like that.
So there's a mountain on the island.
It's not really a mountain, it's not very high up, it's probably only about 200 feet up. It's not huge, high.
So it's a big hill.
It's kind of like a little bit of a hill. It's
You're making mountains out of molehills.
making mountains out of molehills. It's a small rocky crag. But like I said, you're landing on the peak, which is kind of like a mountain, like a little bit like a mountainous peak, but smaller.
Okay. I thought it was just kind of level out at some point, like cliffs do.
Unfortunately, not this guy. It seems like the erosion or whatever has kind of split this into a spike. Like I said,
Are
it
either of them
is.
close to me?
Sorry.
Like Nero or Geo, are either of them close to me?
In order to find decent footing or try to find decent footing, you kind of have to spread yourselves out a little bit. But yeah, Nira, Jacob, you're very slowly, just sliding down the cliff face.
Are they next to each other?
I just grab one of them and say, oh, where are they? Are they close? If one's close to me and one's close to Zin, we can just try and...
No, whisper it
I
out.
want to pull them off into a goat. A mountain goat.
If you want to polymorph into a goat, you can polymorph into a goat.
Yes.
Have we seen any other mountain goats around?
No.
Not in this place, but
The
Giovanni.
goat
we're
was
on the-
washed
But we're on
over.
the back side of the mountain, right? Or on the cliff, so you can't see us.
You can't. You're
Wait.
up at the top.
I wanted to go out of sight.
I want to say, who says that that last ship didn't have any goats in it, and the goat has just escaped the sinking ship and is now on the island?
I'm more thinking the goat might be food for them, or their prisoners.
Okay. For the ease of arguments, we'll just say that you all land on top of this craggy area and you're okay. So, what do you want to do?
Hello.
I think we can take them.
Yeah.
Why
So-
are we doing that? I mean,
The guy, the Bluebeard said that they have to sacrifice people here to get the storm, or keep the storm going.
Yeah.
And if that's accurate, we actually should very soon desecrate the altar.
Yeah.
I can do that.
I know you can. So I would say
I can
let's wait.
defecate the altar.
Yeah. Okay. Let's wait for them to leave. Desecrate the thing. Take the people and then see how we get into these pools. Do we have water breathing?
No.
Anything? Well, that might be a problem.
Don't we have potions for that? Or one, at least?
Do you have the spell, Jojo?
No,
Generally?
no,
No?
no. I can control it and I can make you walk on it.
But no breathing it.
No breathing.
That's unfortunate.
I can make
Okay.
breathing it irrelevant for me.
We know.
Well, Zin, could you go check out the what's down there with your etherealness?
I could do.
I mean, you can just walk around, right?
Yeah.
So I was
Kind of
thinking
float on.
the ethereal. So working on the ethereal plane, rather than you can't walk on things, but you float.
Yeah.
Because if you could walk on things, you couldn't move through things, and if you could move through things, you couldn't walk on things because you just fall
Yep,
through
you
it.
can-
Just fall through the air.
So you just have like a slow levitate speed.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go scouting.
I could go scouting. Very well.
Can we still see them from up here?
No.
God
We
damn
can't
it.
As you
take that
move
serious.
out of sight of them, that makes you out of sight. Them out of sight of you.
So I'm guessing all the fishermen that were there, these two in prayer, are probably important, and the others, the bodyguards, or functionaries. I don't know. If
So,
we
I think the
attack them
only
now
question
at the
we should be
altar,
asking- I think the only question we should really be asking ourselves is, do we free the pirates, people, Captain Hook and his friends, before we attack the altar or after? As in, do we bring them to the fight with us?
Scathe pops up and says we could give them a badge, and then if we give them stuff and unlock their cages, we could do it. They could get them to break free at the same time.
Your badges do not work over 2 miles.
Well, he says that because he wrote it down.
Good try, but badges don't work over 2 miles, unfortunately.
Or I could send them. I say.
But, I mean, why do it at the
That's
same time? There's these little waterfalls that are down near the cages as well, aren't they?
Yes, so the rock pools are kind of everywhere. They're kind of dotted all around this kind of rocky area. Primarily focused in the village.
So, yeah, maybe I should scout them before we do anything.
Yeah,
But I
like
could be a
any
while
kind of-
scouting.
Any kind of fighting we do will be easier if the storm is gone. If we can find some way to disable this altar so they can't keep it going, then
I mean, if we're here,
I mean, going back to Branus's idea, I could defecate on it in the ethereal realm. Not sure it has the same effect.
Yeah, I don't think that quite works.
I was planning on spraying and stabbing it a lot.
they won't be able to remove the ethereal pool.
I wonder if it floats.
So
It's like putting
I-
Thor's
I-
hammer
I-
on someone's chest.
on the toilet. Zen, you want to go ethereal scouting, do you?
Should we do that now? How long left on the windwalk spell?
Not long, maybe an hour.
Let's
Yeah, it
get
might
back
be
to
more than
somewhere
an hour.
where we can walk back.
Yeah,
And then do
that's
that.
what I was just going to say. You kind of don't want to sleep up here.
So where do you want to fly to?
Where do you want to fly to?
Back, I guess, or to our ship, and then you could start walking from there.
Yeah,
We can make you invisible if you like.
that might speed up my walk.
Etherealness lasts for 8 hours, I believe, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we'll send you off and then try
But
to
you move quite well.
You move at half
say
speed,
quite
but you're
slowly.
just kind of but you are also travelling as the crow flies.
Yeah,
from,
true.
from where you are, travelling at half speed, you'd probably take you about hour to 2 hours to reach the altar. Not very far.
And
You
Yeah,
could,
quite
you can
well.
also go into these pools here.
Ow.
Yeah.
These pools will
There's
also.
no reason why I couldn't check out all the pools.
Yeah. What time is it, roughly?
Now? It's
8
probably
o'clock?
getting quite. Yes, and yes. It's evening time at this point. it appears that what little light is filtering the clouds is pretty much gone at this point, and it is reaching nightfall, because you guys hit here about midday, and you've had 7 or 8 hours on the Windwalk spell. So by this
Can
point,
you
8
see
hours.
the ethereal plane at night?
The ethereal plane's kind of all greys and fogginess. Isn't really affected by day and night cycles.
Okay, that's good.
I was going to say, I walked through a dark cave and darkwards, and it didn't really matter.
That's good to know. Yeah, I'd say go scouting, see what you can see, come back, and once you're back, we'll probably be springing the guys.
Cool.
Since we can't windwalk over to the water anymore.
As it's nighttime, or nearly nighttime, maybe we should have our long rest. I only think 4 hours because of health. So I'll take my 4 hours, and then the other 4 hours I can go off and explore, and I'll be back by the time you guys wake up.
Alright, we'd be up in the middle of the night then. Okay, that would work.
Ish, yeah.
We can make the sailors do the shifts for us, so that they can just wake people up and keep watch.
The sailors were pretty injured and nearly dead.
Yeah, so all they have to do is just watch for things, and if something bad is happening, then they can wake us up.
Sure, if you want to rely on these sailors, go for it.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time healing these people up. They should be relatively...
They are, but they're also just normal sailors.
I don't think any of his
Normal
crew
sailors
is
who sail
normal.
under a crazy captain. I'm sure they've seen worse.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys
They're
do?
like level 1 at least. They're not like level 0.
Alright,
So what are you guys doing?
long rest. Zin goes off in the night, scout. Once he's back, we gather our many weapons and free the sailors. Bring them back here, and then probably figure out a way how to get into the pools quickly afterwards, and kill some priests. Sound like a plan?
I feel like as soon as we let all the captives out, all hell's gonna break loose. So yeah,
Yep.
sure.
I mean, if we go, I mean, all hell is going to break loose once we A, free the prisoners, B, kill the priest, or C, go diving into the pools. So,
I can't help but feel Ranot has the right of it.
maybe we should, I feel like we should find out what the hell is lurking in the jungle. Maybe that could help us.
Yes.
Or maybe there's nothing left in the jungle. Maybe they just like to stay on the beach where they get wet
Saw
more
something.
because they're kind of fish.
Yeah, I also saw something out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah,
So
but
maybe
that could
we'll
be
just
an animal of some sort.
I don't know, I'll spend an hour. I'll go up to, if anyone wants to join me, feel free, to the forest. Throw in some bait and wait on the tree and see what turns up.
Okay. Actually, yes, it is okay for dinner. So.
I'll wait by the boat.
Okay then, so...
I'm gonna go with Vanos. I want to go see this forest. I've been wanting to see this forest for a while.
Okay, so Ranos and Jojo are going to the jungle. So let's do that. There you go.
Avenge our deaths, okay?
Zin is... So you're not resting.
I will live forever.
I don't know. Are we resting?
An hour.
Are we doing long rest and then I go in the middle of the night?
So, what time is it? I thought it was 8ish,
It's
right?
about 8 o'clock.
It is
right?
8ish. Yeah.
How much
So it is
rest do we
very
need?
8 hours.
8 hours.
That would put us at like 4 a.m. waking up.
So
we
that
do
would
it
mean-
like 5. What's this?
Okay, 1 hour.
You want an hour scouting, do you?
Yeah, I'm too curious.
Okay.
We have windwalk still, so...
I mean, if they're doing that before we long rest, I will go and look at the woods with them.
Okay. Is everyone going to the woods at this point?
Yeah, why not?
No, I'm
Yeah,
staying
sure.
by the boat.
Okay,
Nira
And I'm
staying
gonna
by the boat.
sailors,
Then I'll
men,
stay by the
things
boat.
if I can.
Skate is going to stay by the boat because what can he really do in a forest?
Takes offence. But okay, I will say, as you get back to the boat, the
I
sailors have been.
didn't say there was a fence around the forest.
The sailors have been working on the ship, and part way through, kind of plugging that hole. It's going to take a little while longer to do it. Like, they've kind of been taking apart crates and barrels and trying to hammer it up as best as they can.
Captain,
Yes.
is there a ballista on the ship?
No.
Any weapons?
I can summon the last to have a look. We've been focused on trying to get this one seaworthy.
Well, there's hopefully going to be a set of extra hands coming in soon. There's some prisoners we aim to free that would... I think it's their ship, actually.
Oh.
So
see.
any rebranding you're doing, wait for a while. Huh?
Is it? Sorry. So we going around. We did find the name of the ship around the back. The Scalebane. You found their crew?
I don't know. It's a Captain Bluebeard.
Oh. Okay.
He's a pirate, isn't he?
Yeah. Pretty
Well-
fucking evil pirate. But situations need situations, and we need more people to crew this boat, and he needs his boat fixed. So maybe we can come to an arrangement. Maybe he'll kill us all in the high seas. I guess we'll find out.
We can kill him first.
Very well. I've seen what you can do. I'm on your side.
Okay.
Maybe we just kill him to make an example, and then you can have his crew.
Yeah, so what if we use him?
I
We could use him
prefer if
as
we
a-
didn't kill anybody else.
Just
This boat
one-
takes a lot of people to run.
What if
I
we
was
just kill the
suffering.
evil captain guy after we've just used him to help go and destroy the fish guy? Then we use the captain guy,
Maybe it's another
and then
Bluebeard.
we kill the captain guy.
The
Can we
people
not
who
talk
try-
about carelessly murdering people?
The people who tend to work on pirate crews generally happen to be pirates themselves.
But what if they're only pirates because they fell in love, and their love was forbidden and they ran off?
If that's the world you want
Only-
to live in, little girl, and he pats you on the head. Now,
I have read pirate stories. It's mostly because they also just didn't want to be constrained by the British naval fleet.
the what
As,
fleet?
as she says that, I'm just going to lean over to him and go, she reads pirate porn, really?
Ah, that makes more sense.
Jojo, it happened once with these two guys, and they weren't even pirates. Not every pirate is gay, sorry.
They were
It's not
cowboys.
gay. I just want everyone to be happy.
Well,
I'll be happy when I can get on with my work.
I have an idea then. Maybe if you want everyone to be happy, don't talk about murdering them.
This man has a
One
point.
guy.
Have you tried that maybe?
Causes trouble, we'll deal with it. If not,
Yes.
we'll be fine.
I'm good at like
I
3
just-
things: killing and murder.
They're so opposite as well. Can make you better, or I can end your life.
Hey, it's in my character sheet.
What's
If
a
anyone's ever-
character sheet?
If anyone's ever played Mass Effect 2, Jojo reminds me a lot of Morden. Can heal people or shoot back. Heal good people or shoot bad guys. Both help.
Yep.
Anyway, so you three are heading north, and the other three are hanging around the ship. Correct?
Fortify the ship!
We'll work on it.
Okay, so you
Meant for the next
trek
hour.
up towards the jungle. As you reach the forest edge, you can kind of hear the sounds of jungle life, the buzzing of insects, the croaking of toads and frogs, or frogs and toads. But it is not a quiet area. There is definitely life in this jungle. How far in do you want to go?
Can we get
It is
to...
it is very difficult terrain. You can't. It depends how long you want to take. It only took you about 20 minutes to get up here. But that does mean if you want to do an hour, that's 20 minutes back.
I would say
Let's just sit
until we
quietly
can't
on
see
the edge
the
of the
beach
forest.
anymore.
Okay, so you head into
I
the,
want to
you begin to
yeah,
head into
try
the
to
jungle.
do it.
So we'll use the party cake for this, it's easier. So you start to head deeper into the jungle. You start pushing through trees, kind of pushing back past clumps of thick vines.
I'd say, guys, what do you think? Maybe we should find some space that's little bit more open, if there's anything like that here, and just throw out some grilled bacon. See what comes running.
Yeah. You just sit quietly.
Yeah, and a nice tree to sit upon, so we don't disturb whatever it is.
We should have bought Geo and got him to turn into a goat instead of a clearing.
Yeah. Oh, I can turn you into a goat if you like.
Nah.
Nah.
I can make goat sounds with my illusion. Maybe help. If the creatures here know what goats are.
Well, that's the issue.
I don't
haven't
think
seen it
think
yet.
goats are too native to tropical islands.
I mean, pigs are now.
Pigs are.
So-
Pigs and goats are very different creatures.
Well, they both live on a farm.
Still smell like meat.
Sure. Okay, 2 seconds. while-
Bacon is also pig.
So, I just need to do something because I think I've made a mistake.
If anything goes south, and these are big scary monsters, I would say, then you could go ethereal, and I'll teleport away with Jojo.
Yeah.
Unless we can fight it.
So, as you're walking through the jungle and you're having this conversation, jungle man.
We are the bait. No.
Ranos, you see movement in the trees ahead of you. Probably about 30-40 feet in front of you. You see what appears to be the movement of like a tree brush that kind of shifts and then settles back into place.
I stop the others. I hear something.
You hear
It's the crying of a mighty beast.
Crying for his mummy. He's trying to whisper, that's the cutest part. Mummy!
okay, so you stop dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull up my spyglass and look.
Make me a perception check with disadvantage. Okay, you try to do a very quick scan. So I like spyglass up and do a scan of the environment around you, especially around the area that you saw. And it's very difficult to see anything up close with a spyglass. However, looking down, kind of roughly where the branch moved, you do see a large. It's kind of buried into a wet piece of mud. You can see this large footprint.
A footprint.
Yes.
Like an actual.
And it looks like a. It looks like bestial. Not
Okay,
like a
guys,
dog's
I think,
foot or whatever. And then as you kind of go, guys, well, I think you kind of hear a voice noise to your left, and you turn around, and shimmering, you kind of see the shimmering outline, kind of like imagine like Predator style, of this large lizard-like entity looming over you. Give me that initiative.
Hello, we had fish people.
3 of you, if you could roll me initiative, please.
At very least, I'm glad you didn't go by yourself.
I just wanted to sit on a tree.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm not going to change it to combat music for this, but so Zin, you watch as this large, dark, green-scaled, lizard-like creature decloaked, almost not quite decloaks itself, but becomes slightly more slightly more translucent in the shimmering undergrowth. You see it open its maw, and these row on row and row of these large, razor-sharp teeth. What do you want to do?
Sorry, I was muted. I was talking. Well, I'm gonna enter rage
Okay.
because I wouldn't I. And then I'm gonna run in front of it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna hit it twice.
Okay, so make your first attack with disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay, and second strike again, disadvantage. Okay, they both miss as you swing out with both blades, trying to strike at this large lizard-like creature. Its kind of translucent, shimmering essence almost reminds you a little bit of your cloak,
Okay.
and it's very difficult for you to actually pin down and hit this creature.
Anybody else want to click? And skin this.
Okay, its turn. I need to get its character sheet open. I'm not doing very well today. Okay, it's going to go ahead and make a bite and 2 claw attacks against you. At disadvantage to start with. They all miss as it just chomps out at you with this huge jaw and tries to rake at you with its claws, but fails miserably. As you duck and evade out the way, and it kind of looks at you with a quizzical look, as you seem to be displaying the same abilities that it has. Okay, next up. Jojo, you hear movement behind you.
Oh, what?
As another creature darts out from behind you and makes another multi-attack against you, with advantage this time though. So the bite hits for 20 points of piercing damage, and the first claw strikes you for 12 points of slashing damage. As this other lizard-like entity decloaks from the jungle and just rakes into your back. Now it's your
Ow.
turn.
Okay. I was gonna stab the first one. I'm gonna stab the second.
Go for it. Make your attack.
I'm gonna do a
Disadvantage.
goading attack there
Okay.
as well. But disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Goating attack.
Goading attack.
Ah,
Okay, that
23.
hits. Roll damage.
So goading attack means that add my superiority roll to. So add my superiority die to the attack roll.
So roll a d8.
Is give me a second. I've got too many things open. Yay. And then
The 5
What's
points
it
of
say?
damage.
and then the target must make a wisdom saving throw.
Succeeds.
Wait, 8 plus my proficiency boner plus my strength.
It succeeds.
Okay.
Okay.
It's still been damaged a lot.
Oh yeah, you still did a good 20-30 points of damage to it. And as you strike it, you kind of hit against its armoured hide. And that translucent cloaking field that was surrounding it seems to dissipate as you now see it in its full opaque glory. This deep green scales that kind of that run all the length down of its body, a small horn protruding from the front of its head, and it doesn't look very happy at you.
buff chameleons.
Basically buff chameleons. Ranos, what are you going to do about these buff chameleons?
Zin is ethereal, is right? As I reach out for Jojo, right? I can't see you, so in case you're right.
He's not talking, he's muted.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Okay, and I touch down on her shoulder and bam.
Where
500 feet back to where we came from.
Okay, Zin, you're up. Still muted.
I'll use the ring to turn ethereal.
Okay. It's just an action.
Okay.
Boom.
And then I'll slowly walk.
You just float
Back
away.
where we came.
You see the drakes, kind of the lizards, looking around, very confused. And as you float away, they seem to be scouring the area for you guys. But
I was gonna say I'm probably just gonna dimension door back to the shore
it's
a
fine.
few times.
So, over the next, we'll say, to complete the total of the hour that it took you, the total of the hour round trip as you return back to the ship. Only sustaining
Well, so
minor
that was-
injuries.
I could have
Educational.
taken them.
Take a what?
I could have taken them.
Yeah.
I think we could have.
Who said that?
You can't
Sorry,
speak
taking
using
what?
the
What you
ethereal
run
plane.
into?
Very educational. You think we could lure them maybe to the camp?
What did you run into?
I'm nothing in some chameleons, but nothing major.
What? Why would you run from chameleons? They're awesome.
Yeah, except when they're like 3 feet high at the shoulder
Oh.
and have sharp teeth and can cloak themselves or blend into the surroundings.
We should definitely try and get more people cloaks like mine. They're awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you couldn't hit it.
Yeah, but it can hit me.
Well, Zin's off exploring, and we ran. Educational, but we should probably hit the sack so our silly mission can commence in the night.
Yeah, so I'll go back to the camp and do my long rest.
Okay, so
Aren't you Ethereal?
you can cancel. I mean, you can drop the etherealness and long rest. It comes
Oh,
back.
I thought you were gonna go right now.
Well, I could have
Wait,
done,
yeah, no, it makes sense.
but then I'd have to long rest when I get back, so I have to long rest first.
Okay.
Okay.
So, are you guys not taking watch? You're leaving it to the sailors?
I think we should take watch.
Gabe's going to take some watch anyway because he only has to do 4 hours to.
Okay, so we'll say we'll have 2 sets of watches. Who's in the first watch? Is it Skaith? So Ranos, just you, or you and Skaith, or
Me and Skaith.
you can do a little bit. Skaith will be doing a lot chunk of it on his own though, because you can only watch for about 2 hours. Okay, so Ranos, since you're there, if you
Zin roaming around. Zin's not watching.
That's fine. So Zin's resting, Gio's resting, Nira's resting, Jojo's resting, Skaith and Ranos are on watch. And the sailors, by this point, it's getting quite late, and they are huddling around a campfire just in the bowels of the ship, trying to keep warm with the blankets and such that you provided.
Is it visible? Is the fire visible from the outside?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
How much room
we
can
should
Gary
probably.
then?
Yeah,
Not enough for all of you.
We just
but
have
for the sailors.
Probably just the sailor. I mean, the Gary tent is designed to sleep 6 people.
Well, let's give it to the sailors then.
If you want.
Yeah, they can take it. We can huddle.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you put
I'm
out.
just worried about the fire.
I will say this
Good
fire has
spirit.
been going like all day.
Yeah, but it's visible at night. So.
That's fine.
It's also storming right now.
Okay, so you guys hand over the Gary tent to the sailors, and they seem a bit perplexed and a bit unsure, and very wary of it. But after some coaxing and a little bit of prodding from the captain, they eventually hop into the Gary tent on the far side of the ship. Where are you guys sleeping?
As much undercover in the ship as we possibly can.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Is anyone taking the last watch, the early morning one, when we're waiting for Zin to come back?
Somebody needs to, because Skate, you've got half of it done. I'll need
I
another.
might-
Actually, I'll probably need 2 watches for that bit then. So
I'll take the very last
Would you
one
like me
because I
to-
can wake up early anyway.
But we're sleeping into the night and then going before sunrise.
So
It's
you'll
almost-
probably be your long rest with the watches. Your long rest is not going to finish until about 7 a.m.
How is it any quicker without watches?
So so
Because you
when
have
you're
to
doing
wake up.
watches, you rest for 8 hours, and you watch for 2 hours. You
Do we
can't.
always do that?
Yeah.
That
No,
never.
normally we watch for slightly less because me and Skate.
Normally it's not so
That's
bad
true.
because
4
there's
hours.
the two of you. But if you with only one elf, you need to take longer because if you're going to take a watch, you need your watch time plus your long rest time.
Mm-hmm.
But we said we were going to go tonight.
So it's up to you guys. You can not have watches. You can leave it to the sailors.
I still have the string trap. That could help a bit, maybe.
Sure.
We should task the sailors, and we can stay close by.
Okay.
I don't feel we need to be up early and get the guys out.
Okay. So no watches.
Except for Skaith, maybe.
Skaith can watch for a few hours.
Okay. Then I'd say he'll take the latter half.
Okay. So you want to be finishing up this for about 5 a.m. then.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Logistics of sleeping. Okay. So
It's easy for you.
Never knew it was so complicated.
I think with you guys
D&D is the
everything's
only-
complicated.
D&D is the only place where the number of hours you sleep actually matters.
I mean, it does matter in the real life as well.
I have like about 5 hours sleep a night. Like, it doesn't matter.
That's so bad for you, it's not even funny.
I know,
Yeah.
but like, I can still function. Like, I could go for 5 hours of sleep in a D&D game. Be
Yeah,
perfectly
but
fine.
no,
Sure, but
think
then-
about it. All the stuff that we do, like our characters do, you would be able to do all that stuff on 5 hours of sleep.
I
No.
could totally do
Running
it.
around
All I,
with magical armor and fighting demonic fish people.
And you're using
Sure.
magic.
I teach all day. It's worse.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys settle down for a long night's rest. So you want to have, so you got no watch for the first 4 hours, and then for the last 4 hours you want Skaith to do it. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
sailors do watch,
Okay,
hopefully.
perfect. Okay, so let me roll a watch check for the sailors. If I can find them, I know there is. I know I created them. Maybe I didn't. I know what the stats are. Good to know. Okay, that's one
Don't
of
they
them.
have advantage since it's true?
Advantage for what reason?
There's 2 of them.
Sure, I'm rolling 2. You don't have a lot of sailors.
True.
And you have like 6 sailors who are partially wounded and have been working on a ship all day and have been sailing all day. These guys aren't your best bet. Good to know. Okay. Good to know. Okay, so the first 4 hours pass. First 4 hours pass. Zin, you wake up.
I go ethereal.
You go ethereal and you start heading down the beach.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the pools in the village first.
Okay, you start to hover your way over towards the beach. It takes you not much more than about 30-40 minutes to actually reach the edge of the rock pools.
I don't see signs of any fish people on my way.
You don't see any on your way, no.
Cool.
And you get to the edge of these rock pools, and you kind of float around. What would you like to do?
See how deep they are.
Okay, so are you going down into the tunnels?
Yep.
Okay, you begin to float down one of these rocky pool tunnels, and you can see. You spend a little bit of time investigating them, and what you can see is the tunnels. They don't go down too deep, maybe 20-30 feet. And as you head down, you can see that under the rock area there are these large watery caverns. Underneath where the rock pools are, that have a myriad of tunnels and networks that connect each caverns to different caverns to reach back up to the surface. Some of them descending deeper and deeper into under the island, as you kind of leading down to almost natural outlets to the ocean itself. But the main bulk of the caverns is probably about 30 feet under the surface.
Can I tell are these fully submerged?
Yes.
Okay.
And they do have
So-
fish people in them.
Lots of fish people?
A decent number of fish people.
And do they look like the warriors that we faced previously?
Warriors, priestesses, the lithe ones, some younger ones, and some of the caverns you do see large clusters of eggs kind of stuck against some of the walls as well.
Okay, and knowing roughly what direction I've entered these from, can I sort of make my way through these tunnels in the sort of direction of the altar?
Make me a survival check. See if you can navigate.
Also, and this is just a general question I'm not about to do, but say I felt like I was getting lost, could I literally just float up through the ground?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, you float for a little bit, and you, after going through about 4 of these large caverns and turning around and kind of floating it in a 360-degree environment, you start to get a little bit lost, and you start to head a little bit more north, and you kind of get to the edge of the cavern system when you about here.
Okay. And it's all been fully submerged so far.
All appears to be fully submerged.
And I haven't seen any like locked rooms or areas that seem to be safer or not sacred or anything like that.
Nope, it appears to be the simple, naturally formed underground tunnel system.
Okay. So at this point then I'd float up the surface.
Okay.
I'd come over to one of the rock pools towards the end of the village, like here.
Yep.
And I'd go back down and again aim to make my way up towards the altar. So like reorientate myself and then try and get back.
Okay, if you make me another survival check, please. Okay, you spend a little bit of time floating around in the kind of the underground area over here, and you notice that there appears to be, you cannot find any connecting tunnels between these pools over here and the altar.
Brilliant. I'd float back and go to the altar.
You float over towards the altar. It takes you a good hour to make your way over to the altar itself. With your slowed speed, following the path around, you manage to get towards the altar itself. As you get there, you can see that there are several of the large Sahagan creatures, several of the large fish people seem to be patrolling around the area, but you do not see the priestesses.
Okay. And before, I know I saw them on the map, but did we notice that the priestesses sort of have these bodyguards with them?
They seem to have these very large and intimidating Sahagan creatures with them, yes.
And are they still guarding the altar?
You see, there are a few guards that seem to be wandering around. There's probably about half a dozen guards that seem to be patrolling just the general area around the altar, the path up to the altar, the pools as well. And they just seem to be kind of watching and keeping an eye out. Like I said, there's about half a dozen of them.
Okay. I would like to enter the pool closest to the altar.
Okay. As you head
where
in,
everyone's closest.
that's fine.
But as I'm doing so, and walk past the guard, I want to wet really it in the ethereal.
You do so. The guard does not react. So if I go back to the altar map just so you can see.
I think that's abuse of power, by the way.
You pop into the altar, the pool nearby, nearest to the altar, and you can see that it descends probably about 20 feet down, not too far, before it curves round towards the central area here. And it appears that all 3 of these pools seem to connect into a central, larger chamber at the bottom. And in that chamber, you can see a number of these priestess-looking individuals. Appear to be sleeping.
Fully submerged?
All submerged, yes. All underwater.
Okay.
But you can see what appears to be finery in these areas as well. There is not a lot in the way of structures, but there are. What you didn't notice in the other caverns was things like decorations or bedding, and there appears to be small coral formations and small illuminating crystals here and there that provide a very dim glow to the area. Almost small patches of seaweed as well that seem to, or vines that have been clustered into makeshift bedding and the like that these priestesses are using. And it looks like this area, this particular cavern, it's sealed off, and it seems to be more important.
Okay. And just in a quick exam of the room, is there, again, the bodyguard, the meaner bodyguard-looking people, are there?
There are one or two of them hanging around.
Okay.
But there seems to be about 4 priestesses in here.
Right. And does there seem to be anything in the room that's prominent or important that they seem to be like set out around or anything like that?
Not particularly. Like I said, the room itself, the cavern itself, appears to be fancier than the other ones and has actual decoration to it, but none of them appear to be prominent or particularly important, like a central idol or anything like that.
And it's just a single room. There's no other rooms or caverns
that you can see. Yes.
Okay, I'd have a quick sort of skirt around the outside to see if there's anything else. And does it look like there's like 3 entrances? So I saw 3 pull up by like or 3 emerge to this area.
That's it. So you kind of do a once round with your ethereal vision anyway. You don't see any other exits. You can just see these 3 tunnels that seem to curve out and lead back to that central plateau area where you first entered.
Okay, I'd go back up to the plateau area then, and then I'd go over to the altar and have a closer look at that.
Okay. As you go over to the altar, as you get a bit closer and actually inspect it properly, if you give me an investigation check, please.
Oh, I'm good at these, boys.
Awesome. So as you get closer and you have a look around it, it's difficult to make out exact details from the ethereal plane anyways. Everything's a bit wishy-washy, but from what you can tell, this altar appears to be quite crudely constructed. It seems to be made out of a combination of hewn stone and decorated with like corals and shells and various other ornamental objects from the sea. You don't see any writing, any carvings, or any runic language on it. It seems to be relatively simple.
Does it look like...
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, does it look solid, or does it look like it could be moved?
It does look pretty thick and solid. However, as you look at the altar, what you do notice is it's hard to make out, but you can see part of it. You can see kind of in the center of this altar, kind of, if you imagine there's this large base to it, and then the crashing waves on top of it, you can see a glowing energy signature within the center of this altar. It looks like a large disc of some kind.
Ooh, I wonder what that is. Okay, I think I've gleaned all the information about this area that I need to. How long have I been ethereal for now?
It's probably taken you, for your investigation, you probably about 2.5 hours.
Okay. I would like to, on the way back to camp, can I go back to the map of the island?
Sure.
So yeah, on the way back to the camp, if I can,
Mhm.
I'd like to kind of try and go past these ruins.
Okay.
Like I'd just beeline to it, if you know what I mean,
Yeah,
in that direction.
you can try. If you give me a survival check to see if you can find them, because you only notice these on kind of like a quick flyby of the area.
Okay.
Okay. It takes from there to get over to the island. It takes you about an hour and a half to get over to those ruins, but you do manage to get your way there.
I would like to investigate whether they are just like external buildings, or whether there's any like hidden entrances or pathways to like underneath the catacombs, that sort of thing.
Okay, make me an investigation check. Okay.
That's 2 9s.
9. You spend a bit of time investigating around the ruins, looking through the ground, and unfortunately, you don't spot any underground caverns or anything like that. No, unfortunately, you don't find anything.
And there doesn't seem to be anything of any real interest.
They appear to be very old and destroyed ruins. Some of them larger than others, but they have weathered a lot over time. Actually, with the investigation, I'll give you advantage on it because of your ethereal sight. So give me one more roll.
Oh. Another 9. Oh,
A
a
20.
little bit better.
Okay. As you're about to leave, you kind of turn and you float past one of the largest building there. The one that had the kind of iconography of the serpentine creatures on it. And as you kind of peer into it a little bit, you do see about 10 foot down what appears to be a hollow space.
I would go closer and investigate.
Okay.
I'm about 3.5 hours ethereal now, yeah?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
So you head
Like
down
3.5.
and you float through the air. You float through the ground, and you end up in this small chamber. It's a very small chamber. It's only about 4 foot tall and about 6 foot wide. And there appears to be a large chest there.
Ooh, can I stick my head in the chest to see what's inside?
Try, and you actually feel it. So as you kind of went to touch the chest, you can feel it in the ethereal plane.
Well, that's new. So I just headbutted a chest. Awesome. Okay. In that case, I would head back to camp.
Okay. Meanwhile, just need to make another check.
Death and destruction.
Snoring is afoot. Okay. Meanwhile, while Zin is on his scouting expedition, Skaith
is
on
it rewind time?
Sorry?
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
While Zin is on his little scouting expedition, Skaith is on watch, kind of perched on one of the sides of the ship, while kind of keeping an eye out and seeing what's going on. And Skaith notices something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So let's put Skaith there. So I'm just making some amendments. Okay then, so let's put you back on this other map. Aha!
Hey.
So, let's just imagine this is the other ship. I don't have multiple ship maps, unfortunately. However,
Weak.
I know, I'm just terrible at what I do.
What are we even paying you for?
I'll start doing the charging, shall I? Oops, too many.
Nice and clustered together for a fireball.
Underwater.
Chain lightning while they're underwater.
That could be interesting. So, as okay, so during the night, not long after Zin has left for the evening, Skaith has taken on watch, and he notices, just peering out, just in the dark. Actually, I'm going to give him disadvantage on his perception check. So it's 29 or 30. So, okay, he spots a handful of these individuals seem to be he sees a head popping out of the waves. And just as he shouts down to you guys as you're clustered together, trying to keep warm, He shouts, "Guys, we've got a problem!" As you all start to jolt awake, as a handful of these Sahagin, these fish people, begin to pull themselves out of the waves and start rushing towards your group. I'd like y'all to roll me some initiative. We'll actually put combat music on this time.
Time to teleport away.
Did we heal anything from our 4 hours of sleep?
Nope.
Yeah, it doesn't count as a.
You have not finished your rest yet.
Oh. Okay. So let's be.
Ooh.
Damn. Actually got double digits for once.
I mean, low works for you, because you get to mop up and kill everything.
Do we still
Sure.
have the temporary hit points from yesterday?
Can't
We
see why
didn't get
not.
any yesterday because you forgot.
I think you gave some before you set out on the windwalk.
Did we?
Yeah,
I missed.
I think so, yeah.
Um,
I'll have it known for once I didn't forget.
for once.
I have them still on my sheets. That
Yeah,
must be-
I think you're okay. Sorry, my initiative macro didn't work for me, so I just need to do these quickly manually.
I wasn't saved on my sheet then because I didn't have them.
The Tide Priestess is at 18. Okay, so jumping straight in, Ranos. As Skaith shouts you awake, as I roll initiative for Skaith as well. Okay, let's put him there. As Skaith shouts you awake, you groggily kind of wake up with the sand. You've got kind of sand down half your face. But you awaken. You're prone, so all the 4 of you are currently prone. And you look up, look around, and you see these glowing red eyes appearing from the water as they move towards you. What do you want to do?
Okay, so yesterday we had a fight,
You
right?
did.
Did I use my lesser chain lightning?
You didn't. I don't think you did. Where? I don't think so. You used your Wall of Force. You've used a lot of.
Yeah.
You've used Dimension Door a few times, and a few other bits and bobs.
Okay. How many heads do I see?
At the moment, you can see about 3 or 4 of them poking up. Your vision is quite limited, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll stand up, move a bit away.
Okay.
Probably behind this ship, boat, if I can.
Yeah,
That's kind of a cover.
bit of wreckage there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll try to lesser chain lightning the 4 creatures. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go
This
for this
one.
guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Is that what we're looking for here? These 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 wave guards and 2 pulse riders. So wave guards, dex saves, I believe. So dex save, dex save. Fail and a success. And pulse striders, dex save, dex save. 2 failures. So if you want to roll damage for me. I forget what it is. It's like 66 or something.
Yeah. Oh my god, spells. Ringed wall, 20 feet. Sorry, I might switch to. Wall of fire. 20-foot diameter is. That's 40 feet or 20 total?
What's that? Sorry. 20 feet
Radius.
diameter. So 20 foot radius is 20 foot across. Total.
And diameter is 40 total.
Sorry, so. What is it you're trying to do?
Wall of fire in a ring.
Wall of fire in a ring. Okay, in the water.
20 feet diameter.
20
40
feet
foot.
diameter. Okay.
That's total, not half
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
like a
That's
fireball.
it, yes.
Okay, so that doesn't work then,
Okay.
as well as I wanted. So let's go with the thing then.
Okay, Perfect. Okay, so they all take 11 points of lightning damage, apart from that one wave guard who succeeded. As the crackle of lightning shoots out from the axe of the dwarven lords, and bolts and jumps out to these 4 individuals as they light up with sparks before continuing their assault towards you.
I hope that woke everyone up, and then bonus action heal on Jojo.
Okay.
Storming. Why would lightning wake us up?
Maybe.
Because it's really, really
It's
close.
really close. Okay,
And,
wave guards. I go
What's your
to
bonus action?
damn
12 healing, Jojo.
12 healing to
Oh,
Jojo.
to me!
To you
Oh.
for once.
Okay, this guard is going to run up towards you, Geo. It's going to try and attack you with its harpoon. Sorry, its trident. It's different. With advantage, so 19.
That hits.
Okay, as you take 12 points of piercing damage. So I'm going to stab you again with this trident. With 16
Cutting
hits.
words.
Hits.
No, I don't have a reaction. No, I have a reaction.
You
Cutting
do have a
words.
reaction. Okay, if you want to roll whatever it is. What's your AC, Geo?
10.
Okay, so you have to roll
Oh, God.
7 or higher. It's a 9.
Nice.
As you go, oi, fish face! Huh? And he doesn't stab you the second time. Okay, this Pool Strider is going to take a throw at, with its jagged harpoon at Skaith. So it's going to make 2 barbed harpoon strikes. The first one misses, but the second one does hit, as Skaith takes 12 points of piercing damage. And he will take an additional 4 on the start of his next turn, but I'm going to roll it now because it's just going to do it now, so I don't forget. Okay, right at the back of this congregation, you can see a female-looking Sahagan creature, slightly smaller, slighter, kind of has these almost finned gills at the side, and she raises a scepter out of the tides. And she's going to cast Bless at level 2 on these individuals. Blessed. 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 Oops. Concentration. Activate. Skaith. Now at this point, do you guys want me to do Skaith, or does anyone else want to roll him? I'm happy either way.
If you're happy.
After the stream of volunteers, I shall continue to use him. He's going to use Feathergale at a 10-foot range against this guy right here. Because you get the sneak on it as well. So, boom. 23 to hit. That hits. And he deals 20 points of thunder damage. I think he gets a secondary strike as well.
I think he does, yeah.
But the second one misses, unfortunately. Okay, this wave guard here is going to come over this way. He's going to try and clamber up onto the ship as much as he can, and he's going to go ahead and try and trident Skaith with advantage. First one hits, the second one misses, as Skaith takes 11 points of piercing damage. Okay, Nira, you're up. Followed by Jojo soon.
Hmm?
Yes, you're soon. Have a look, Nira. If you're speaking, we cannot hear you. No, she's with us because I can see the ruler moving around.
Chain lightning.
Not sure if you can.
Did we
This
use
is
it last
getting
session?
to talk.
Chain lightning is already used and gone.
Alright, I had somebody talking to me while I was trying to plan this out. I'm
That's
gonna do a slow, and I'm gonna try to get all 6 of those guys if I can. Because it's a 40-foot cube. So that would get
40-foot cube. So
all 6 of the guys, I think.
okay. That should get them all. Is it a wisdom save?
Yes. See of 7.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
18.
Okay, so Tide Priestess first.
She's not in it.
Oh, she's not in it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I see which ones you're getting. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
getting all the little guys.
Pulse Riders, whiz. Oh wow, 2 successes. So the 2 back ones succeed. The first one fails and is snail slowed, and the wave guards. Whiz. One success. However, they are blessed. So
Yeah.
the last one is gonna roll his bless. 18. Is that the DC?
Yeah.
Okay,
that one
so
saves too.
this guy at the back, the one who hasn't gone yet, he is also slowed. So you managed to get 2 of them.
Damn it.
Okay.
Only 2 out of. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
only the 2. Hashtag blessed.
That's fine.
Effective use of blessing.
On that.
Okay, you moving away as well, or are you staying
Alright.
where you are?
Yeah, I'll try to back.
Okay, this wave guard is going to climb out of the water. He's going to very slowly run towards Skaith and try and clamber up, but he doesn't have enough movement to get there. This pulse rider at the back is going to throw a stick to move forward and throw one stick at Gio, one at Jojo, both at disadvantage because you're prone. Fails both of them. And they just stick it. As you're both still trying to get to your feet. These 2 harpoons just land in the sand next to you, and twang. Okay, Jojo, you're up. Gio, you're next.
Yeah.
So I just had an idea, which is slightly adjusted an idea I've had. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I want to use my 5th level spell, because I'm assuming we're going back to bed.
Sure.
I'm going back to bed. I want to do... Like, if we're not going back to bed, we've got more trouble going on than it's worth later.
Yeah.
Because we're all going to be... Flame Strike.
Okay, where are you casting Flame Strike?
I want it to be... It's going to be these top few people. So it's a 10 mile, 10 something...
10 mile radius, that's impressive.
Yeah, but I can get... Oh, some of them have moved. Yeah, 20 feet, so I can get
It's a 10-foot
all
radius.
these 4
so
people. Yeah, so I can get all these 4 people
you can
in
do
it.
There. You can get 3 of them. So you can
But it's a 20...
And the
it's a
distance
10
between
thing.
so it's a 20-foot radius. Sorry, 10-foot radius, so 20 foot total. And these guys are 25 feet apart.
Oh, see, because I was doing it from this lady, and that's 20 feet to them, her, and then it's 10 foot from her to them. So if I did the circle so it could kind of start from where she is.
Fine. Go for it. So let's
Cool.
make some dex saves. So you roll me the radius and
I'm
fire
just
damage.
I just want to... Do I...
So we've got 3 pulse riders. So 2 success, 1 failure, and the Tide Priestess.
Anyone who successes gets half damage, so they're still damaged. It's half
Yeah.
damage for success.
So
Just
they all succeed, apart from 1 pulse rider, who, if your DC is only 16, he does not succeed. So, let's have a look. So he
I
takes.
don't, that's the DC it's
Oh,
I don't.
sorry, they have a negative. This one has a negative on his dex save. What's the negative from slow? Is it just -2 to the dex saves?
Yeah, it's a -2.
Okay, so he still takes 14 points of radiant fire damage 14 points of radiant fire damage. 29 points of radiant fire damage.
Ouch.
14 points of radiant fire damage, and a concentration check for the priestess. Fails, and bless drops
Nice.
from all of these individuals.
What was that thing that you did just now?
Me?
Yeah.
Flame strike, baby.
What?
Flame. It's called
Flame
flame
strike?
strike.
Oh, flame strike.
Yeah, it's great. And now I want to see if Bless is gone, because I was going to see what happens if you baned a Bless.
So, is that you?
But-
You're still prone at this point. Are you standing up?
No, I just want to check how far. It's 30 feet. She's more than 30 feet away.
They said you are currently prone, so you have to use half movement to stand up anyway.
Oh, I'm not standing up yet.
Okay.
I'm seeing whether or not I want to.
Shirt last time.
I'm thinking about action surging, but it's action surging. I can actually surge with a spell attack, so it's still an attack.
Depends what spell.
It has to be melee.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna.
You get attack actions, not actions. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to. I can't read somehow suddenly. Sorry.
What is it you want to do?
I'm gonna go Sacred Flame the priestess as well.
With what? Because you've already used your action.
I'm action surging
Okay.
because I got it back after a rest and I've not used it again since we last napped.
That's fine. Okay then. So
So,
she's not
I
concentrating.
want a Sacred Flame. I also want to. I'm not sure which order I'm doing it. I also want to use my bonus action to get a stabby, weapony thingy.
Spiritual weapon. Okay, you
So it
can
was
drag
dropping on
the
her.
spiritual weapon from your summons area.
So I'm just gonna click it while I can remember to click it.
Okay,
There we
so
are.
she's going to dex save. So he fails on the dex save and takes 17 points of radiant damage. I fucked that up. I need to move her down so I can actually do it. Minus 17. And then if you want to roll, spiritual weapon does miss on that one, as you somehow
Oh.
managed to move the spiritual weapon off the map.
So I've lost it.
It's flying off in the
Control
wind.
Z.
You'll have to control Z that one because I can't actually get it.
I don't know how.
We'll just leave it there for now.
Okay,
On your keyboard, hit Control Z.
I'm doing Control C. It's not doing anything.
Perfect. It's gone forever. Giovanni, you're up.
Only touch.
I'm just putting another one on it and then bring it here. Sorry.
Okay.
Giovanni.
Yes. So clockwise, I'm going to.
Still wind strike.
Yes, exactly. All of these 6 guys
Okay.
clockwise. And
So
I'm
I-
gonna
Then I'm going to use my movement to stand up.
Okay. Is it attacks
Yes.
each?
Yeah, it's attacks. So there's the first one, second, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Wow.
All of their the lowest, even the lowest one hits all of them. So, you're hitting all 6. So go ahead, roll me
Yes.
damage. So just roll me one at a time. So 28. Yep.
Second,
36. Yep. 41. Dead. So the Tide Priestess is gone. 31 for that guy, still up. And the 2 guards, 24 and 33, still up as well.
land him back to back with Skate.
Okay. You twing, 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 twing. Dragon Ball Z teleport move. And you just.
Such an anime spell, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
As
love
you
that
deal
spell.
a lot of damage to a very clumped up group of individuals. Most of them seem very damaged, but they're still alive. Is that you done?
Yes.
Okay, this Pulse Strider, he's going to throw some javelins at you now, because you just nearly killed him. So, he's going to make 2 shots against you. 25 and a 27.
Hits both of them.
Okay, so you take 18 points of piercing damage, and at the start of your next turn, you'll take 6 points of bleeding damage. Okay, top of the round, Ranos, you're up.
I will this time.
Do you have a marking for bleed?
I'll put a little red dot on you. I'll put a little heart on you. There you go.
Gio's got rage.
I want to wall of fire these guys off, so they take damage and I can't see through the fire.
Cool. I'm not going to sit here and look up the rules of Wall of Fire versus water, but
Are they in the water?
they are.
Magic fire.
They're so close to the shore. Okay, I thought they were standing in the water.
They're still in water, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. It'll burn their faces.
How much? What's the range on it?
60 feet. You know, like that.
Okay.
Something like that.
Let's just do a few of them. What I'll do is, because of I'll give them the checks on it, but they'll have advantage on the checks. They'll still take the damage. So it's 3 pull striders
Yep.
with dex save. So we've got a success, and a failure. So on a success, they take half, which is 13 points. So 13. There, he's dead. And he's dead. You don't know that though. Massive wall of flame just erupts and sits on top of the water. It's a very strange sight.
Pyrotechnics, guys. And I hunker back down behind the cover.
Awesome. Okay, this waveguard is going to come up and make some strikes against you, Jojo, both with advantage.
Mhm.
23 and 22.
Yeah.
Wait. The 23 hits, the 22 doesn't.
Perfect. Okay, 10 points of piercing damage to you.
She got up, just saying.
Yeah.
In case
No,
it's a
it's-
source of advantage.
No, it's blood.
No, that's fine, okay.
One of their things.
Yeah, just saying.
Okay, this guy is going to move around to here, move away from the torrent of flame hitting his face, and he's going to launch, because he's still slowed, launch a single javelin at Jojo. No advantage on this one.
I mean, I can get all my blood.
I really like to see how that looks, like the slow throw, but then the bolt speeds up.
This goes past my ear, I'm like, boop.
It's like the arrow in Monty Python.
That's it. And he's going to make a wisdom save for the slow as well. When I think about it, fails. Right, Skaith is going to turn around and he's going to attempt. Actually, he's going to go for this guy here because he's got the ally. He's going to try and just do a simple Feather Gale sneak attack and misses horribly. Actually, I say horribly by 1 point. He's going to go ahead and make a second strike, which does it this time, as he deals 24 points of thunder damage. Sneaky thunder damage to this guy. Okay, that's his turn. This guy is going to stab him in the back twice. Trident, with advantage. First one misses anyway, second one has advantage and crits for 32, reduced to half by uncanny dodge, so 16 points of damage to Skaith. Okay, Nira, you're up. Jojo, you're coming up soon.
Again, I just ran.
See, when I'm doing half the creatures, it goes quite quick.
Okay.
Are you all thinking of your 10 HP?
And then
No!
Thank goodness.
No.
Think
No.
Skaith.
Oh gosh, what's 80? I can't do math.
It's up to you guys to manage your temp HP if it's not on the character. It's not mine.
Things may have been getting me to advantage today.
So, Nira, what are we looking at?
Which of these guys around Skaith and Geo are looking the most hurt? Or like these these three right here.
The two on the left, the middle and the left one look a bit hurt. The one on the far right doesn't. It looks completely pristine.
Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a let's see, I gotta check rules on something real quick. Okay. I have
I think that advantage.
So I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from both of them because I'm twin spelling a blight.
Okay. Ooh. 2 wave guards. Boom, boom. Failure from the first. Which two? Sorry, the left two.
The one that's slowed and then the one that hasn't been touched.
Okay, so the first one fails and takes 38 points of necrotic damage. He did.
Okay.
The other guy critically succeeds and takes half damage, so he takes 19 points of damage. As the blight strikes him in the chest. Okay, is that you done?
Kind of hiss at him. Hide back under the ship.
Sounds good to me. Jojo, you're up.
Well, I've not got much to do, so I'm just going to stab the guy in front of me.
Go for it, make your attack. Wow, that's a miss.
Frick me! It looks really good because a 14 is technically okay, but it gets caught in something, and I'm just like, oh dear, frick.
You get some sand stuck on the blade.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, any bonus? No. Just gonna kick him for like no damage. I'm just gonna kick him.
Okay. Giovanni, you're up.
Right. I'm gonna move down here and Spooky Hand of Doom on our friend here.
Okay, make your attack. Go. There we go. That hits, roll damage.
Cool.
14 points of necrotic damage, not bad. As you and just tickle under his chin. He's does not like
I'll
that.
stand that like that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Ranos, you're up.
Again. Shit. So such a small initiative.
I'll make it bigger if you want.
Sure. Cool. I'm tripping. Because they were the vicious mockery of the Poo Strider.
I think your DC's higher than 13.
Oh yeah.
And it will show you... wow, you did roll 3d4. Okay. That's a fail. He
Your
takes...
mother's a flounder.
And he goes, ah, and dies. He had 4 health HP left.
Really?
Yeah.
Clutch. I meant
Clutch
it.
vicious mockery. He died.
Vicious mockery. Thank you.
Hey.
That's my turn.
Awesome. Okay. Waveguard here. He's going to turn. He's going to leg it. He's going to.
Not again.
He's going to go ahead and he's got 40. He's going to run and try and jump into the. He's going to run around the wall of fire and jump into the sea.
I want to stab him again. He's leaving me.
Go for a stab.
Come on. Actually, yes.
That hits. Roll damage.
My head.
Okay. 19 points of damage. As you stab him in the back, he's, and he keeps running and he. Plop.
Does the wall damage him when he runs?
No, he goes around the wall.
Okay.
He's not that dumb. And he sploosh into the water and disappears from view. Skaith's turn. He's going to disengage. I don't know if he I think his second strike is a bonus action. So he's going to do a booming blade thing. No sneak though. Oh, okay. That's how he does it. Third Gale Strike. 15. Misses anyway. And then, with the booming... give him another strike, because I think that might be how it works. Sure, he does 15 points of thunder damage. Haha! Now this Waveguard is going to go... fuck this shit! Yeah, he's fine. Run. Sploosh! Third strike. Hits. There's an additional 12 thunder damage, but he still gets away. Haha! As the last of the Waveguards disappears below the seas, below the tides, and vanishes from view. Okay. The rush of combat drops around you as the sounds of battle are replaced with the heavy winds and pelting rain and the crackle of storms around you. You're not sure what time it is, maybe 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but it appears that their nighttime ambush has been unsuccessful. This time. The sailors kind of hid in the galley tent. They woke during the when the lightning and the flame strikes went off, and they seemed to be kind of huddled in, and
They peeked out and they went, "Fuck that!" They closed the door.
I think the tent is camouflaged.
Exactly. So they're okay. They may have peed themselves a little bit, but they are not dead, and you managed to keep them alive. Okay. Anything else you want to do, or just continue with your rest?
Yeah, I just want to go back to sleep.
I mean,
Okay.
The
it's a
fuck?
bit worrying if 2 of them are left alive that they know we're here. But it's so
I mean,
tired.
they knew we were here anyway, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
here, so I'm not talking to you.
You're not there.
but
Like, if they have to come back, they'll kind of do it properly.
Yeah.
I need a nap.
They've
I
already
just go
tried
back to
this
sleep.
kind of ambush.
Hopefully next time there'll be 30 people here. Well, if we get them and do everything, then they'll probably all come running. But we should probably get them here. And once we drop, they need to repair the ship. And once we destroy the altar, the storm will stop, and then we can leave. But only then. And so we need the ship ready. And then we can go once we make our way back here. Preferably with wind walk. Yeah.
Yeah, Skaith can
Yeah.
wind walk you back.
These are the things I talk about to myself while I'm trying for.
Okay, so you all settled back down to sleep. So if you all now want to go ahead and process your long rests,
Oh, I processed mine before I went ethereal walking.
that's fine. You weren't fighting.
Well, even if I was, I had my 4 hours.
True.
As we wake, I give an inspiring speech
Okay,
about
you'll
how
get your
fish are bad.
Oh no, I'm not there for its inspiring speech.
You get back around them in the morning as they wake up. So it was about 4 hours as to doing your whole scouting run. So you do return in the morning. So
Cool.
as you wake, as Zin returns to the island, returns to your little party area. Ranos, you do your inspiring speech for 17 hit points each, I think it is. So everyone gets your
It's
temp
only
HP.
17. I'm just going to stop deleting it.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Cast Counter Scry.
I
Right, what time is it?
Now? Not sure. Early morning. It's dark.
Is it still dark? Then let's go.
It's always dark here, but yeah.
Oh, I will relay everything, literally everything that I've seen on my little visit as soon as I get back.
So glowing disc,
Probably
magical headbutting in the ruins.
Yeah, I really want that chest. The fact that I could use ethereal plane intrigues me more than what is in it.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
that's very.
Problem is, it's deep in the jungle. There are giant chameleons in the jungle,
But
and
they were easy.
you're easy.
We could have taken the 2 of them, just the 3 of us. So if all 6 of us go in,
Yeah,
We'll
but
go
we
over.
have no responsibility to these people and ourselves to get off the island.
yeah,
Oh,
but I think 30 of
cool.
them could probably handle themselves for a little while.
We have a responsibility to get our guys off. We have a responsibility to the pirates just to make sure they don't get murdered.
Like the captain said, the ship is bigger and they need. Yeah, let's start walking.
So where are you going?
Take all so we're taking all our spare weapons to the cages.
Yep.
I
Or
don't need
give.
Okay.
I'm going to give the Maelstrom Greatsword to our guy? Like,
Well, I don't
magic?
think I've
Which
been
guy?
thinking about this on my long ethereal walk. I've been thinking about this, and I'm not sure we should give any of the magical weapons out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I think you should probably keep them in your bag.
Still, we have like 18 weapons then.
We could just give them, like, climbing spikes.
I will, however, give you my throwing daggers on the proviso that I get them back. So there's 5 daggers for people.
Cool. Yeah, let's walk, approach the village thing. We still need to think about how to get to in the pool, since they're fully submerged. We can't just walk in.
I don't think
You
we
wanna
need
go
to
into
worry
the
about
pools?
going in the pools. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry about going into the pools. They're just living areas. I mean, we don't want to go kill the babies of the fish people, do we? I mean, I know that they've been mean to us.
Didn't you say the disc
but
is
they're
in
just-
there?
No, no.
In the
disc
rooms
is-
for the priestess?
The disc
No,
is
the
on the
disc-
altar.
The disc is
on the altar.
inside the altar.
Oh,
Yeah, let's.
so best
leave
not poop
the
on the altar then.
Well, we'll get the disc and then I'll poop on the altar.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't
Makes
think we should
sense.
go murdering the fishwives and children. Like, let's just leave them to peace, man. We'll kill anyone that tries to fight us, but these are just indigenous people. They're just a tribe of people.
Yeah.
They're a tribe of people who keep captives.
Yeah, like many remote tribes would do. They're protecting what they see as their land.
Yeah, there's no need for us to murder their families.
Yeah, if we don't need to go into the pools, that's even better.
Mm.
Yeah, stay out the pools, man.
Yeah.
Let's just kill anyone that tries to kill us.
Let's free these people.
Yeah, I agree. So, plans to free the people.
They get the ship ready. We destroy the altar.
Are we going to start the fight down here? Or should we give them weapons, fuck off to the altar, start a fight up there, hopefully we draw most of the attention and they can just make their way to the ship?
Yeah, we'll guide them a bit until they're clear of the initial onlookers, and then
Okay.
we'll make our way to the
If we
altar.
break them,
So-
them out,
Scathe
Control
suggests that I could go up and probably break most of the locks. We can give them the weapons through the cages, and then if they give us a bit of time to start attacking the altar, draw the people away, and then they make a break for it.
that's exactly what I mean. That's my plan. I don't think we should be here when they escape. We should let them. You know, they might take a casualty or two, but if we draw most of the fighting up to the altar, they should be fine.
I mean, we don't want to fight our way through the. Do we want to cast Windwalk now, so we have it for the next hour, so we're quicker?
You could take
No,
windwalk.
we
You could windwalk from the ship to the cage near the cages, drop, break the locks, windwalk again, go to the altar and fight.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys want to do.
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. What do you remember about the situation? If there are so many fish people in the village that if we leave them, they'll die, then I want to stay and help them.
But no, what I'm saying is, if we start a fight at
It's
the
night.
altar, the altar is precious to them, yeah? So the second they hear any sounds coming from that altar, and I'm sure they'll probably have ways of sending them
Yeah,
around.
true. You
Yeah,
can probably
they're
set
all
up a
pretty
flare or
nice.
something. Would signal
Yeah.
them as well. Yeah,
I
okay,
mean-
sounds good.
Someone's about to send lightning crashing down from the sky into people. That'll probably alert them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Also, they had an unsuccessful raid, so I would wager they're awake and heavily patrolling.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
what
let's
was
see,
it
let's
like
see.
in the village when we flew over? Was there
We
loads?
should just.
Say
There
again.
was only like four or
Jim?
five. There was only like 4 or 5 fish people patrolling in the village before, wasn't there?
There was quite a few in the village. Sorry, in the altar there was only 4 or 5. In the village there were quite a few.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. Once we start a ruckus,
Yeah, let's see what
we'll drop
Skaith
it.
says. How he judges the situation.
Okay. So you want to windwalk from the ship to the forest, to the jungle?
Yeah, and then slowly through the cages.
Okay. You spend as
When
you
say escape invisible and get him to go break the lock.
okay. If it's breaking the locks will break his invisibility.
Oh, okay.
Break time?
Sure. if you want to take a break now, I was going to say we've only got half hour left, but if you guys want to take a break, we can take a 5-minute break now. And
Probably toilet.
Sure, go ahead, we'll take a quick 5-minute break now,
Yeah.
and we will reconvene shortly. Okay?
Cool.
Awesome.
Tom, still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, mate.
Is would you know of a website? That's pretty much. Where's that mini from?
Yeah, Magic Madhouse.
Magic Madhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why, you after more minis?
Not really. I saw a gigantic tomb scorpion, and I want to have it.
Oh, really? What, a decent looking one? Not a GW
Yeah,
one?
I'm guessing it's probably a custom-made one, but it was like this big at the creepy crawly feet, so gigantic.
Not bad. Yeah, I one of the guys that I go to the club with that I used to play regularly has one that he converted out of a spider.
Mm-hmm.
So he bought a giant spider model, like a giant tarantula looking model, and converted that into a scorpion, and that looked very interesting.
Okay, right now I'm 3D modeling, creating my own tomb scorpion, and trying seeing if I can print it.
There are lots of companies that do that sort of thing.
Yeah, we got a 3D print at work, and I'm okay at 3D software. So I'll give it a try and then probably fail horribly at the printing step.
What you really have to think about is support. Like, is there any places of weakness?
Mm.
Especially if you're only going to have like 6 points, as in like the 6 feet touching the base that you're printing onto. You might,
I'm
you might
thinking
be
about
worth
doing.
putting a support peg in the middle, and then
Yeah,
just
exactly.
chopping it off and shaving it down.
I might even print the feet separately and just. I think they're all the same. Just stick them on.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
What are you doing to feet?
Stick them on.
Cutting people's feet off.
Why are you taking people's...
I need them for myself.
His new sick hobby.
You're disgusting. You're a monster.
What else is new?
He learnt from you, Tash.
Yeah.
Tasha's fine.
Okay, he learnt from you, Hannah.
No,
Are we
Thank
back?
I
you.
don't think so.
It's the personality that lives in Tasha's head that's the problem.
Okay, good to know. Welcome back, everybody. So,
Hey,
You
look who's
can
not
forget.
invited back to the next meetup.
Hey, so you came at the wrong point without any context.
I don't need it anymore. So, you guys, sorry. As you guys are about to leave, Captain Morgus heads over to you and goes, so when do you think we're looking to depart?
Hey?
It's going to take us a little while to get the ship up and running.
Hopefully the pirates will join you and help you. If that makes any difference, I don't know.
I'm sure they'll speed it up, but if they're bringing a horde of fishermen or with them, it's not going to help us a lot.
Well,
No, we plan on taking the fish away
Because
from
it's
the...
going to take. I mean, we've done what we can. We don't have great materials here. We're salvaging what we can. We worked through the almost all of yesterday, but it's still going to take us a good couple of hours to get this ship even seaworthy. And even when it's seaworthy, I don't know how long it will last.
You've got a good couple of hours.
Definitely at least a couple of hours.
yeah, we're gonna go try to free them. They'll come over here, help you salvage whatever you need.
We're gonna
Well,
try and
we
take
create
away
a
the fish
distraction.
people.
That will hopefully draw them in the exact opposite direction of you guys.
Okay, and what happens after the distraction?
We're probably going to kill and name quite a lot of them.
Okay, all of them.
Nope.
Well, as
Basically.
many of them as we need to.
Okay.
I mean, lots of
And what
We're not into
happens?
genocide. We're
when
not into
you-
genocide, but mass murder we will do.
And what happens when your distraction's done? Because if you do this soon, the ship ain't gonna be ready for a few hours, at least.
I
we
tell
have
you what,
her out
guys.
of way.
Why don't we give weapons to the guys in the cages, fuck off into the forest for a little bit, and then go over to the thing?
So you're saying you just need more time, and we should wait with whatever we're doing.
I mean, do whatever you want to do. I mean, you guys are paying our wages, but if you want to ship out of here in the next hour, it ain't gonna happen. He
It's
points
gonna
at the
be-
boat, and there is still at least a 3-meter hole in the side of the boat. So even when we patch that up, I don't even know if it will take it to the sea. God knows how we're gonna get it into the sea either.
Well,
The power of self-belief.
Hopefully tides might return to normal, and we might have the tide to help.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be 20 additional men.
All right. I'll trust you. You just do what you gotta do.
And they're going to
Just
be
give us as
armed.
much time as you can, though.
Alright, guys. Why don't we go into the ruins first? Let's give the weapons to the people in the cages under the cover of darkness. 'Cause it's still dark, yeah?
Sure. Yeah.
So let's give the weapons to the people in the cages under the cover of darkness. Then let's go check out that chest, because I'm adamant we're checking that chest before we leave. Then we're going to go and desecrate the altar.
Woo!
Know what?
Oh, I mean, if we time to spare, I guess the guys in the cages can free themselves whenever they think best.
That's exactly it. Yep. We'll tell them we're going to create a distraction later that day. And that when we create that distraction, they should use it as a prime opportunity to escape. But until then, they should probably sit tight.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Good point, Captain. Thank you.
Okay. Good luck out there. Let's just hope none of those fish folk come and visit us in the meantime.
Yeah, might be a good chance, but try to not die. Okay.
Do my best.
Hide. If you see them coming from the sea, run to the edge of the forest. They don't like the forest, we've kind of figured. So don't go too
yeah.
deep into the forest because there's giant chameleons in there as well.
I hate this island.
And if you
Hey.
have to run away, remember where your companion is. I'm still going to try and bring him back. I'm not going to leave anybody behind.
Did you even gentle repose him? Is he just? I don't think you did.
Yes.
You did
No, I
you?
did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we did.
You got
Yeah,
it.
we did.
You got it prepared.
I don't
You
need
did
to.
it
Oh,
yesterday.
you
Yeah,
don't need to.
Natural casting.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh,
Okay, just wanted to make sure. He's kind of just slumped to the back of the ship somewhere.
I'm just counting down for my 10-day limit.
So, what are you guys doing? You're wind walking to the edge of the jungle.
Are we wind walking?
Wind walk will last you 8 hours. So you can drop in and out of it as much as you want. It's up to you guys.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we may as well wind walk. We shouldn't have more than 8 hours worth of work to do.
Okay. Takes you about an hour, fighting through the fierce weather, but you manage to over to the jungle spot where you first materialized, not far from the prison camp. You set down, and you are not wisps anymore. What do you guys want to do?
Okay, Skate,
Yeah.
you need to take one of the bags.
Escape
Either
looks at
clothing or
Jojo.
holding. Whichever one you want.
Escape looks at
We
Jojo.
need to load it. We need to load it with all the weapons. And you need to get some of the weapons to some of the cages. It doesn't matter if you give everybody a weapon, they can distribute them to themselves as and when they can. Do you think you can do that?
I can if Jojo gives me the bag.
A cold one.
I don't wanna give them
Fine,
cold-
take the.
I don't want to give them cold weapons. They'll probably hide them under their shirts. That'd be cold.
He's not wrong.
It's only because I know where you sleep at night.
He takes it very happily and just grabs
The
it.
creature's probably gonna note the hard nipples on soldiers from the
That's it.
weapons. That.
We're not giving them the magical weapons or super thing.
Okay, so how many weapons are you putting in this bag for distribution?
How many did we work out we have?
I've lost the list.
With
Where'd
the
list
throwing
go?
daggers, we are over 20. 20.
When I did the initial calculations with you guys, it included the daggers.
So 18 then.
You got 18 weapons?
Yeah.
Well, if we don't include the platoon sword and the maelstrom, and 18, because we had 20, right?
And the whip? So 17?
I don't really care about the whip, so I would say we can put it in there. So.
What about the plus one sword? Do you mind giving them? I mean,
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Fine.
But I have like lots of like pitons. Like I have like metal spikes that
Don't
you can use.
start with
as
pittance, please.
Okay, so Skaith takes
But if, like,
17
if you want to have
weapons.
2 piton dagger-like pitons and then 18 proper weapons.
Are you stealthy? Sorry, are you invising him?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Skaith, for the purposes of brevity, since Skaith isn't here, Skaith sneaks up and dispenses weapons to the individuals. A conversation takes place. Skaith advises them there is a diversion that will be happening in the next few hours, and to be ready, and distributes weapons accordingly. The captain advises that they are ready to go, and will break out of these locks and these cages and make a run for the jungle and stick to the jungle line before returning back to the boat. Skaith returns.
Scape should also tell them not to hurt a single person that's at that boat already.
Skaith says this as well. Okay, Skaith takes about half an hour. Skaith returns, drops the invisibility by wedging in, and you are back in business.
Okay.
Alright, then.
We will
Off to
feather
that
gale
weird
ourselves
chest.
in the clouds to where that chest was.
Okay. You windwalk over to the ruined area, and Zin, you lead them back to that large building with the small hole, the small cavernous space about 10 foot underground.
Just for the record,
Yep.
someday our greed is going to kill us.
Yep.
Today might be that day. So that's a chest now.
10 foot underground in a cavern in a small open space.
I want stuff.
This is greed so much as curiosity.
As we're
We're
going,
adventurers, it's mostly greed, I think.
I'm going to say, Scape, can you just make sure there's nothing around? I.e. traps or...
Sure.
I mean, this seems like a very good place to put a trap.
He does not find any traps.
Okay, and we don't see any creatures around.
Make me a perception check.
Can someone help me perceive this?
Sure. I'm always on the lookout.
Oh, that's not a bad roll.
Not bad. You want to roll again with advantage? For the advantage, you might get a bit better. No.
Right.
You have a look around, and you have a feeling that due to your very, very stealthy and windy approach, that you haven't triggered any creatures. You can't see anything. It all looks clear.
Okay.
Are we all sleeping? It's in the middle of the night.
Well, right now it's probably getting close to like 6, 7 a.m.
Ah, okay.
Maybe they're completely nocturnal.
Well, they attacked us.
Maybe they haven't had their coffee yet.
Well, no, they attacked us in the late evening though, so maybe they or what's
Yeah, very true. Anyway, I will probably materialise before I go in there, and then walk in.
Again, sorry.
Fine.
There's no route to this. It's a cavern 10 feet down under the ground.
So is there a path down to it though?
No. You floated through the ground to it.
Oh. Okay, then I'm going to investigate around the rooms and see if I missed anything when I'm in the Imperial place.
I'll help.
Zin, if you'd like to make me an investigation check, please.
With advantage.
With
since I'm helping?
advantage, with Ranulph's help. 12.
The advantage helps.
You
Both
have a look
times.
in. You have a look around inside in the internal of this large temple-like structure, and you do eventually find what appears to be a small, well, what used to be a hole in the ground, which is very much caved in with rocks, dirt, debris, roots, and various other things. But probably there was once a tunnel here.
Well, let's. I guess we need to dig it open. Oh wait, I have the spell. Let me see. If I can recall it. It helps stone shape. Move 5 feet of stone, any dimension.
That'll help.
Rock into a weapon. I'll just open the space up.
Okay, so how long does the spell last? 10 minutes?
Instantaneous.
Okay.
You get to move one thing once.
Okay.
So I'll do half the work pretty much if it's 10 feet down.
Okay, so
I'm guessing.
you take a moment to focus on the ground and you cast the stone-shaped spell, and a lot of the rock and debris or broken stone in the area kind of shifts to the side and makes a little bit of an opening, kind of makes a small crater in the ground. It doesn't quite drop the full thing because it's not 100% stone, but you do dig about 3 or 4 feet down, kind of pushing a lot of the mud and the debris and the roots out of the way.
Nice. Phew, I wish you had a pickaxe.
I just punched the rock.
It's a rock. You punch it. The rock is solid.
I wonder if my pickaxe is gonna bite. My punch is gonna bite.
Again, you're digging into a mass of mud and roots and stones. This is not
But
like a
yeah.
solid stone tunnel that's been carved down. It is something that has had crap washed into it. Things have grown over it into the centuries since these buildings fell. So have you got?
Is it quite soft though, or is it compacted stone?
It's.
I.e., could you dig it out with like an hour or so?
You probably spend a bit of time. You might be able to dig it out. You can give it a try. It's hard to tell. This is an environment that you're not familiar with. Like I said, it's in the middle of this very dense jungle. You've not really tangled with jungle terrain before. It could be very soft. The top of it seems quite soft at the moment because of Ranulph's stone shape moving a lot of stuff around. But yeah, you can try.
Okay, and I did have another question, but I've just lost it. I can't think. So what I was going to say, sorry, is that the room that we're in, that is underneath us, is it a fully complete room, or is it? I know we're in a ruins, but is the room itself solid?
The room itself seemed to be kind of, when you were in there, from what you could tell, it seemed to be the remnants of a stone chamber that seems to just be about supporting itself.
And is there a door?
There was no door. You have a feeling there was probably a tunnel that went down to it, then that is the tunnel that you're currently fighting with.
Does anyone have a shovel? Good.
Not as far as I'm aware.
I'm going to wear my pickaxe. I had a shovel out of doing it too, because I made that conversation.
A group of high-level
I will-
adventurers who are about to storm a village of God-worshipping fish people are stumped by 5 foot of ground.
But I was just going to say, I would literally start digging into this with like my hands and maybe like use my swords to soften up some dirt and just try and work my way through as fast
Well,
as
I mean, I have this great axe. I could
Okay.
use to, we are made for war, not for.
I'm going to use the
digging.
Maelstrom Greatsword as like a shovel.
Okay, so if you
I
guys
want
want
my
to
line
try
of
and
building.
dig it out, 2 of you give me athletics checks, please.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll do it with my strong hands.
Yes, go for it. You can't stop me.
Okay?
I mean, we could use the big Geo's hand.
Okay.
We're having fun.
My small geo hand.
So you, over the next hour, you start to hack away at this earth, and you're chopping up roots, and you're shoveling out old bits of stone with your exorbitant strength. And after about an hour, you manage to break through into this small stone chamber.
Nice.
Okay,
I
And you
think
see as you break through, you can see this small chamber. It's it's only about 4 foot tall, about 3 or 4 foot wide. It's relatively square, and at the back it's got this large this large stone chest.
I lean over to you. See, that's the power of greed.
I would pick up a stone,
Mhm.
so I'm quite cautious of this chest, and I'm going to throw it at the chest.
Just it hits the chest and bounces off.
Then I'll get in the little chamber and go and try and have a look at the chest close up.
Okay, it seems to be, as you get in there, it seems to be a very simple stone chest. It's probably about 2 foot wide, about a foot tall, has a stone lid with a small latch on it. Does not appear to be locked.
There's no lock, no.
No lock.
Trapped.
And
Can I
Scared?
cast detect magic?
Okay. Is that as a full spell or as a ritual?
Ritual. So it's
Okay,
gonna
so
take
you're
a
going to
while.
take 10 minutes to do that. Skaith will check for traps. Skaith has a look. He does not see any trap mechanisms.
does it look like the lid would push up or lift up?
It looks like a lift. Looks like a lifty, not a pushy. But it does not appear to be... As Skaith inspects it, looks around, there isn't really much of a mechanism. It's a very simple latch that keeps it shut. Like a metal latch. Apart from that, it seems very, very... Not even metal, it's a stone latch. Seems very simple. Do you want to wait for Geo
I'm
to...
going to actually piss myself laughing if we open this and there's nothing in it. Let's wait for Geo to finish his ritual.
Okay. As you finish your ritual, Geo, you do feel a magical aura coming from this chest.
But not the chest itself.
Sorry, the chest itself is giving off magical aura. You think it's... we'll go with kind of like a mix of enchantment and evocation.
Do you think it could be dangerous to open, Geo?
Definitely. Evocation magic is usually what makes things go boom.
I want to open it.
Can we check for magical? Do you know how to dispel magical traps?
Yes. I'll cast Dispel Magic as well.
Okay, can you post a spell for me?
Yes. So as a 3rd level spell.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want me, make me a spell casting check, please.
So that's just an intelligence check? or
Intelligence
is
plus
it-
proficiency.
Okay, then I'll do...
Yeah, intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay. I'll do Candle do-
Spooky Vandy
does
doing
it.
does the same thing. Proficiency for you is good. Is it 4 or 5?
4,
Doesn't
yeah.
make a difference really. 17. Okay, with that you do cast dispel magic on the chest, and the magical aura dissipates.
I will then go over and push open the chest. Open the chest.
Okay. The chest opens up, and inside you can see a number of things. You can see gold, lots and lots of gold, lots of gold coins and shards of gold and small trinkets and various other bits and bobs of shiny things. You probably expect, in terms of value, there's probably a good about 500 gold's worth of trinkets here that you have a look through. But sitting on the top, which interests you the most, is a small idol. It's made of jade, and it appears to be a large serpent that coils around and around in like a spring-like fashion. Looks a little bit like a slinky, but this large jade idol. It's probably about yay big, a little bit larger than like a deodorant can or something. Trying to think of something of varying size, but it's about yay big. The size of my head.
Does anyone recognise this?
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, make me a history
Can I
check.
identify it?
History.
You picking it up to have a look at it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, can you make me a constitution saving throw, please?
Of course.
Wow.
Wow. As you grab hold of the idol and you lift it up, the eyes on the statue flash, and you feel this intense pain in your core for a second. But you fight it off, and you kind of shake away, and the eyes dim, and as the idol drops down to nothingness.
Is it finally a heart attack? No. Must be this thing then.
Okay, but yeah, you pick it up and it looks like the reddish eyes fade into nothingness as if they were never there. And you pick up the idol. Looks like a snake. Doesn't look like anything in particular. Doesn't remind you of any religious iconography. Looks like a jade idol.
It's got to be worth
Identify.
something at least.
Is there anything? Like, what does...
I'll identify it. I pull out the orb.
Yeah.
Cast identify on it. Pfft, it's not magical anymore.
Well, okay.
Okay, anything else in the chest other than the money and the idol?
Just gold trinkets. It looks like some kind of hoard of the lizard men.
I'm the horde. Give me the horde. I want the horde.
I'm just gonna go, all yours. Looking like
I can buy so many things with this. I can fund a war.
It's
But
it's
that's,
like 500 gold. It's not a lot.
But that jade idol's probably worth a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay.
Now, this was only one of 3 ruin sites we found, right?
This was the largest of the ruin sites.
Okay. Do
Then-
you reckon it's time to go and attack the altar, or do you want to check out one of the other ruin sites?
Well,
I'll be
I'm
honest
not
with you,
particularly-
I didn't look at any of the other ruin sites. Only this one.
yeah, let's go. We don't want to waste too much time.
Okay. Let's hit up the altar then.
I'm calling it a jade idol of a slinky serpent.
Slinky serpent, I like it.
But it's not coiled, it's slinky.
Sure.
What's the difference?
Well, your coiled means it's kind of more flat.
Sure.
Like a coiled snake, where slinky is stretched out, you like to put your arm in it.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Make our way in cloud form back to the altar.
Okay, whereabouts on the just start rematerialize on the altar itself, or
Yeah,
Yes.
like literally right on top. No. Maybe like just around the corner-ish, out of sight of anybody, like on the path. But make sure we're also not in sight of anyone in the village. Actually, it's quite far away from the village, isn't it?
yeah?
So we should be fine for that.
Just as long as we're not.
But
If we can
before
get the drop on them.
can we float over to the altar just to get the layout of where the guards are?
Sure.
But let's do a bit of recon.
I just want to go and appear literally standing on the altar.
I mean, you could go stand on the altar if you want. In fact, actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe a few of us should materialise on the path. Although, Johanna, you're probably best No, you did, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to
You do
desecrate
that on
an
the path.
altar. I'm going to
We
pray
will-
really hard and then stab it.
We will go up the path and start drawing them towards us, and then some people can materialise behind them.
It takes a minute to materialize.
Yeah.
It does, but if we've already started drawing their fire,
Probably
maybe
best
they
to set an ambush beforehand. We have the advantage of being clouds.
well, that's what I mean. You could come up from behind, so we could lure them our way, and then you could materialise behind them and try and get some sneaky stabs in.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to materialize so in such a complicated fashion if we have to drop on them.
Do remember it takes a minute to rematerialize and you are visible while doing so.
Getting the timing of that right sounds very, very hard.
Yeah,
Especially
very
when you
true.
can't speak.
Very true.
So you have a quick look around the corner and the layout looks similar to this. It looks like in the time that you've been messing around in the jungle, the priestesses have risen from their watery domains and have made their way back to the altar for praying.
Speak dull, praying all day.
These are simple fish folk.
Hey, what does Amberley look like?
I quite fancy fish and chips now.
Actually, yeah. I almost bought some on the way home. I should have done.
So, as you guys hover over and inspect the area, thinking of a strategy for the battle to come, that is where we will drop for today's session.
Boo.
I mean, you guys who spent 3 hours getting to this point, so...
So many options.
We like to take our time with these things.
You do.
Also, we had a plan and then we kept on being ambushed by things.
It's almost like you're in a hostile environment.
I know.
I'm still
No,
thinking
what is
that
that?
maybe some of us should go back into the forest a little bit later and get some of that hide.
Oh, chameleon-eyed.
Oh, I forgot to
We could
advance. I
line-
need to advance the
We could
day.
line our cloaks with it. So, like our hellhound cloaks, we could just line it with the
Like the
chameleon.
outside of the hide with the chameleon hide.
It is
Yeah.
now 10 days to harvest tide. Just so you know.
We're almost ready. We just need to kill this and then pretty much set.
Oh, but the hand of Vecna.
Through the hand of Vecna.
Weapon.
No, that can be your post saving the world thing, as then you can go full evil. Yeah.
Jacob, I have a suggestion for you on that.
Yeah.
I'll ping it to you later.
Now,
Please do.
do we actually know if anything's definitely going to happen at harvest time? We knew something was definitely going to happen when they had nearest parents.
Alright, guys, I gotta go. Yeah, thank you for the session.
Yeah, I've
Charles,
gotta go as well.
bye.
Bye
See
bye.
you later, guys.
Bye.
I'm gonna stop the recording now.